You're listening to Robert Kelly's
You Know What, Dude?
On the Riotcast Network, riotcast.com.
What's up, YKWD fans? I'm going to give you my dates for the month of January so you can come see me live do my stand-up comedy. I'm going to be in Albany, New York at Comedy Works the 18th and 19th, so get your tickets now. I'm going to be at Side Splitters in Tampa, Florida, the 24th, the 25th, and the 26th. And Gotham Comedy Club at the end of the month in New York City, the 31st, the 1st, and the 2nd. So get your tickets now. Go to my website, robertkellylive.com, and just hit buy tickets. Or get my award-winning iPhone app, Robert Kelly Live, and go to the dates, and again, hit buy tickets. It's as easy as that. If you have an Android phone, go fuck yourself. No, I'm kidding. Just go to my website and buy the tickets. So share this, like this, tweet this, bring your friends, get the fuck out to one of my shows. Later. This is a perfect example of why I do these intros. This podcast was a little crazy, a little different from the norm. And sometimes you do these podcasts and they go on for a couple hours. And after you're done, it's like a fight. You don't know what the fuck was said or what happened. And sometimes you reflect on it a couple days later. And that's why I started doing these intros. This one is actually real interesting. I had Dustin Chafin from the Greenwich Village Comedy Club, the manager of that, which is a few doors down from the Comedy Cellar Comedy Club. I also had Noam Dworman on, and I had Dave Kimowitz from The Stand, one of the owners and managers up there, Louis J. Gomez, Joe, The Truth List, and myself. Apparently, there was a big New York Times article on the 5 families of comedy clubs owner, and then Noam did a podcast, which you might want to reference or listen to before this. You listen to this one. Where he invited all the club owners on his show to discuss the New York Times article because the guy kind of took liberties. And the only ones that showed up were the guys from The Stand. And he wound up saying some shit about the other owners and then of Dustin. And Dustin asked me, if he could get on and kind of on my show and defend himself and, kind of confront Noam on some shit that he said that he didn't agree with. And here we are. Here's this podcast. It's around 2 hours and 14 minutes. It's a long one. It's a heated one. A lot of crazy shit was said. It was very interesting. A very interesting show. I don't know if anything was solved or we came to any conclusions on it, but I don't know. You be the judge. Email me your thoughts or whatever at YKWD@riotcast.com. So enjoy. This is the 5 Families Part 2. Again, if you want to listen to the other one, it's at riotcast.com, Comedy Cellar Live from the Table, the 5 Families. Listen to that one, and then you can listen to this one. So pause that right now and come back to it, or just listen to it. I hope you enjoy it. It's fucking crazy. The 5 Families, Part 2.
Hey, gang. This is Colin Quinn.
This is Jim Norton.
This is Dennis Leary.
This is Opie from a lot of things.
This is Bert Kreischer. Stan Cook, and you are listening to Robert Kelly's You Know What, Dude?
You know what, dude?
You know what, dude?
Ippy bippy baya, ippy bippy boo. Dippy dippy dia, yabba dabba doo.
Dude!
This is Robert Kelly's You Know What, Dude?
You know what, dude?
No, sit down. Put your headphones on.
Oh, boy.
What are you, putting a jacket on? Are you cold? Ugh. What are you, a fucking broad? Nobody take no.
I don't remember what it was like.
But being thin? He's great at fat jokes. I do. I got to give it to Noam. He's got fucking, what is this, shaking hands horse shit.
That's what we do. That's what men do. Lewis and I touched dicks a second ago.
Touch glass.
Before we were on.
That's what men do?
Yeah. Shake hands.
Okay. All right.
Eye contact.
Okay, well, we're here, and feel free to fix your headphones to be louder or softer as you need.
The audio
than me.
Let's go around the room like an AA meeting to introduce everybody to this special YKWD podcast. Fuck you laughing at? They're all special. Go ahead. We'll go clockwise.
I'm introducing myself.
You're supposed to introduce us, you asshole.
Bob, what fucking host are you?
Introduce us. Come on.
Who does that?
You guys
he doesn't
really-
remember somebody in the room's name. That's why he's doing that.
I know everybody's name. I got
That's why he's doing
David
it.
Kimowitz.
Exactly. Fucked up the first one.
A
few letters.
Lot
I'm
of it.
100% sure.
I got Kimowitz. I just said it 10 seconds ago. I got David Kimowitz. I got Dustin Chafin. I got Joe, the Truth List. I got Louis J. Gomez, the fucking twat. And
really?
I got, because you fucking called me out. I just wanted to try something new, and then you bullied me into doing what you wanted me to fucking do.
I have a whole new respect for him. That was very incycleful. I didn't see that.
Really?
I didn't see that.
You have a new respect. That means he didn't respect you 8 minutes ago.
Last week he was the anti-Semite, right?
Yeah. Jew Slayer,
And he's
relax.
Jew Slayer. That's what they
Jew
call
Slayer,
him.
okay, yeah.
That's what they call him in the East Village. The Jew Slayer. And Noam, you have a middle name?
No.
Thank God. Because your name is on the verge of fucking... Noam Dworman, the owner of the Comedy Cellar, the manager, Dustin Chafin of the... What's it called?
Greenwich Village Comedy Club.
Could you say it a little more...
Chafin or Chafin? Well,
Say it with pride.
Could you say...
I have pride, trust me. I'm here. You can't do pot shots.
And we have Dave Kimowitz from The Stand, the brand new comedy club, The Stand.
One of the
And
19
Restaurant
owners.
and comedy.
Yeah, there's a lot of club owners in this room. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And there's 2 comics.
Really?
I don't know who that was a knock on.
I'm not saying who's not. You might be one of them, Dustin.
And
So
one
we're-
podcast host.
We're
Whoa, I'm a podcast host too, and so's Noam.
So am I. Damn it.
Yeah, wait, yeah, you know what? That was Dustin.
Hiccup Radio, baby.
I have a podcast too.
Everybody
no, you
does.
don't.
I do
Bus
not.
boy here
I'm
has
not
a
a
This is
podcast.
your podcast. So we're here today. You guys, number one, I don't know if people know this. There was a big article in the New York Times about the comedy clubs in New York City. And they had come to Noam to, what's the guy's name, first of all? What's the guy's name who wrote the article?
Jason Zinnerman.
Yeah.
I was talking to Noam. Noam, what's the guy? No.
Jason Zinnerman, yeah. Jason. I couldn't remember his last
Troublemaker.
name for a second. Jason Zinnerman.
And did he come to all of you guys?
Yeah, he called me.
Yeah, we sat down with him for about an hour or so.
Of course you did. The fucking Stan will fucking jerk
came
off
to
everybody
us,
for publicity.
you know.
He didn't call me. He didn't call me.
He didn't call you.
He only called Esty.
Really?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
No, you asked me. I'm sorry.
Oh,
He didn't
okay.
call me.
So he didn't call you, but Esty turned it over to you, or did she talk to him too?
I heard that he was interviewing Esty, and I came to the olive tree.
Okay, so what was the article about? What was
I
the,
asked
what,
Esty. I told her I wanted.
What
to
was
do
the
that.
initial article supposed to be about?
I wasn't told. I didn't know what.
Did he tell?
They didn't really tell us what it was. It was just I knew that it was on.
So a guy from the Times called you and said, "I want to do an article on something."
Well, he's not just somebody. He's the guy who writes about comedy.
Okay.
For the New York Times.
Right. Okay.
Obviously,
He's the guy who wrote the article on Eddie Brill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the idea was to stir the pot with Noam and Greenwich Village. That was the whole
Just
angle.
you two?
I think so, because we're on the same street. I think that was the angle. And then you guys are new and use some of the same comics, so they were trying to bring you into it as well. But I think that was the idea
Well, I
of
think
it.
that was certainly one of the premises. It was about
Yeah.
the new face of comedy and the comedy clubs in
As
New York
opposed to
City.
the old face.
Right.
Yeah.
That's you.
Or just the state of comedy clubs and
State
over
of comedy clubs.
Over the summer, a few clubs opened up, and another one is opening up.
So here's the deal. The article. Dave, can you hit number 4 for me, sweetie?
I'll get it.
All right, Noam, yeah, it's your place.
Noam's over the podcast already.
He's like, I'm done. I'm out of here.
So you guys, this article came out,
Yeah.
and everybody kind of took offense to other things that were said. Am I correct?
I didn't personally get offended by anything in it, other than I know when we talked about it on Noam's podcast.
Yeah.
I think that we both agreed that it seemed like a sensationalizing, more of a tabloid type piece than that was worthy of New York Times. But other than that, I thought, I felt good how we were portrayed. And I didn't feel anything towards Dustin or to Noam negatively.
Right.
Well,
that's the end of
Noam
the
had
podcast.
mentioned that I started the whole thing, and I was like, are you kidding me? I had nothing to do with this. Like, this article in general. Like, on the podcast, you said that. And I was like, I didn't start this
So
thing.
yeah, I'm going to get to that. This is what I'm trying to lead up to that. Just bear with me. I understand this is going a little slow.
Well, this is why I showed up.
I'm waiting.
Excited for this.
I'm waiting. I'm
No, I
waiting
got
for
no
Linda too.
animosity.
Linda's going to take some photos and videos, hopefully, of Lewis and Dave fighting.
I'm down. I challenged Dante Nero to a fist fight.
That pussy?
If you want to show up for that,
You challenged him to a fist fight?
I figured I'd take a shot. If I'm gonna, I've never been in a fist fight. He's the guy to
Why,
take it up to, because it's clearly a challenge.
Don't ever fight a black guy with a bone in his ear.
Who wants spots at your club?
Yeah,
No contest.
Yeah. Because if you lose, you're gonna have to use Dante more.
Dante walks
I'm
like
clearly not winning that fight. That's,
he walks like he's a giant midget. You see the way that he walks? It's hilarious.
Yeah, I've said that. I've actually said that to you.
No, you haven't.
Hey, you stole.
Are you
That's my
fucking-
line.
Are you fucking kidding
Joe
me?
List, tell him.
I'm going to sit this whole podcast down. I'm just here to enjoy.
Probably smart.
You're here for levity.
Yeah, levity. I don't even know what that means. I know there's a comedy club called Levity.
Exactly what you
That's all
just
I know.
did. That's exactly why you're
great.
here.
Oh, I'm glad I'm here.
Linda's here too. So, anyways, cut to Noam has a podcast. Invites all the four families. Is that what
Five families.
invited the five families on, and nobody showed except for, of course, the stand.
The biggest nobody of all, Dave Kimowitz.
You say it like it was a desperate move. It was this sounds like a fun thing. Why not? Why wouldn't I?
Yeah, no, you guys don't, because you guys don't give a shit. You'll hang out.
Absolutely.
The real ass dudes.
They're real ass dudes.
Yeah, he was
No, it's
great.
because
He
we
was
do
great.
give a shit.
Yeah, it was actually it was a great podcast.
I listened to it. It sounded good. I
It
was there,
very,
but
it
I
was-
also listened to it.
It was very funny, and you guys showed up. You're the only ones.
Yeah, that was disappointing.
Why didn't you show up, Dustin?
Well, first of all,
Hang on one second. Photos are being taken. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
First of all, Noam had banned me from the building. I wasn't even allowed to eat there.
Wait a
I mean,
minute.
it was
Wait a
free.
minute.
I couldn't. You said that. Don't
Hang
make
on
that
one
face.
second. Now I'm the judge.
I'm
First of
banned
all,
from the building.
I'm
Do
still
not-
representing
Security won't let me in to have hummus and have an awkward conversation with Ryan Hamilton. Like I can't go. I can't
you
be
can't have
in.
Who can't do that? I couldn't
I
live.
can't
if
even
could
be
do
in the
that.
building. And second of all,
There's nothing better than talking to Ryan Hamilton
Yeah.
about fucking anal sex. Just seeing sweat form on his fucking Mormon brow.
You know what's great about Ryan Hamilton? He doesn't shit on comics.
No.
But when you shit on him, he loses his mind. That's his way of shitting on comics. It's fun. He's like this. Doesn't that guy suck? And he's like, ah.
He does suck.
Yeah, it's
Praise God.
So I thought it was a little messed up that I wasn't even allowed in the building, but he wanted me on the podcast.
Wait a minute. Is that true? Is he not allowed
It's
in
true.
the building?
It's true.
No,
He can't
I'm
order.
gonna let him finish. Go ahead.
All right. First of all,
Yeah.
I don't like your tactic of you're exhausted
Rope-a-dope.
already. Yeah, exactly. You're fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't like it. You just
Okay.
don't set Dustin
Yeah.
up, you
Yes, I had
cocksucker.
Two things.
Go ahead.
First of all, I sent you a letter, a
First
really
of all,
nice letter. Did you get it?
Yes,
An
he's
email?
I don't. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a gentlemanly.
I really
wish
Yeah.
it was a
a
hard
gentlemanly
copy.
declination of.
Yeah.
No, whoa. No big
I
words
don't
on this
know. I don't-
It was a
podcast.
solid letter. It wasn't,
This
know.
isn't not your levity.
I made
is
the
the
word
biggest,
up anyways.
Levity
Yeah.
is the
Word.
biggest word you can use on this podcast.
And then you act like I was too busy. I mean, you didn't even mention the fact that I said, I declined in a letter. And, came at you like a gentleman. And second of all, when you're not wanted in a building, it was kind of weird. I can't even freaking... These are my friends before they were your friends. I've been in this business a long time. Like, I just
They're
want,
not my friends.
It's true. It's true.
Talking about.
You called him your friend yesterday.
Yeah, he's no, dude.
Robert's my friend.
Well, all right,
He uses the word loosely.
Hang on, let's not get carried away. I need the space.
All right.
I
It just felt like
real estate
nothing good could come from it if we were there.
Listen,
And,
you
know.
I mean, you want to.
I want to hear.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Hang
I'm
on one
sorry.
second. I don't want this to go. Yeah, I don't want this to boil and ruin the roux, as they say in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Nothing on that. That was
I'm dying. What are you talking about?
Rule?
yeah. It's forget it. Anyways, read a cookbook. God
Yeah.
damn it.
Yeah. The base of something.
Yeah, you can't make fat jokes like that and not know what a roux is. The base. Thank you. You own a restaurant.
Absolutely.
Apparently you don't. Just cook rice and hummus. So I want to know, did you really ban somebody from eating at your place?
I don't remember that, but I'll tell you what I did do.
All right, look at me, though. Stop looking at the
No,
ceiling because you're
I need-
freaking me out.
Okay.
I know the coat thing was a tactic just to make Dustin hot, by the way.
He started working at, what's it, Village Comedy Club, Greenwich Village Comedy Club?
Yes.
And they have surrounded all our customers with flyer people, try to induce.
Okay, before we get to that, are you going ahead?
Yeah.
Okay.
Answer the
No, I'm
question.
going behind.
I just want to answer a question.
no, the
I
okay.
know you're behind, but I just answer the question
I'm
first.
going to answer it in my way. What I told.
Wait a minute,
what
this
I,
is my...
What I told.
I
him-
am the judge.
Just
What
say
I-
yes or no.
It's not a yes or no question. What I told him was
Yes.
that if he's going to be aggressive like that towards us. He should not come hang out there as a way to network with comedians.
I already know these people.
Just because you know these people doesn't mean you can get them all in a room together and hang out with them and approach them. It's a lot easier when you can piggyback on the resources.
Piggybacking. Half of your roster came through me before they came through the cellar.
What is that?
I ran Boston Comedy Club.
I appreciate you being the key ingredient to the success of the Comedy Cellar. I wasn't aware of it until now.
Wait, stop. I want to judge that sarcastic tone. I give it a 9.
Yeah.
Joe List, what do you give it?
Boy, I just represent Luis Gomez.
Louis J. Gomez.
Louis J. Gomez.
There's a simple.
That's the most sarcastic
Robert, let's just cut to the quick here.
What the fuck was that?
Listen, right next door to us, we have Mamoun's Falafel.
Yes.
It's like the Comedy Cellar of falafel.
Yeah, way better falafels than the Comedy
It is
Cellar.
the best falafel.
Which, by the way, I'm specifically responsible for how good their falafel is at Mamoun's.
Louis, he barks for them, actually.
And we have a tremendously good relationship.
Right. You have a good relationship with
Mamoun's Falafel. Always
right.
have.
Okay. Right.
The day that we take 3 flyer people and surround Mamoun's, and everybody's there to say, "Hey, you going to get a falafel? We have better falafel right next door, and it's cheaper."
Right.
That is the end of a good relationship with Mamoun's. We have other comedy clubs in the neighborhood.
Okay.
The only comedy club that geometrically surrounds us.
Okay, this is what we're doing.
Them.
Okay. All right, shut up. Shut the fuck
and
up.
We actually
no,
get
shut
emails.
up. No, shut up. You got to understand that the listeners need to understand. You can't just say shit. We got to set up so they understand what you're saying.
I think they understood that.
You're going right to the end of the fucking argument. The fact is that let's go to the beginning. The
beginning is half of my roster went through Dustin. That's how it started.
We know that
That's true.
He is part of the success.
I'm the Godfather.
Losing a layer. Right. Did you go through Dustin?
I did.
You did? No. Well, that's more than half our roster. How are you counting?
This does need a little background.
Well, no, that's half the weight of your roster.
That's what I meant. You counting numerically?
Okay. Well, you took credit for Soder.
All right, that was a good.
You took credit for Soder, and I
think
put him
this
up
does
long
need a little
before you.
Who took credit for Soder?
You did on the podcast.
I took credit for Soder.
First of all,
Fuck Dave Soder.
Shut the fuck up. Fuck both of you for taking credit for any of us.
I'm not taking
because
credit for
we're funny, whether you're a fucking trash can with 5 people.
Exactly.
Hold up.
Stop taking credit for funny.
I've never taken credit for anybody.
That's a good
ever.
point.
All right, yeah, that's a good
No, I
point.
never have.
Stop taking credit for our fucking abilities given to me from God.
And I have the same abilities. Nobody's taking that.
Nobody.
I'm
Yeah,
just-
exactly. What I'm saying is this: he opens up a club down the street. He's not the owner of the club. He's the manager of the club. He's the manager. He's the manager of the club. Okay. Now, is it your responsibility? Is it your idea to put the guys out on the streets?
No, that's an independent street team
that hired by
the owner.
And that's not your...
No.
You have no
responsibility.
What is your day-to-day responsibility at your club?
Booking it, producing the shows.
You have no
Kicking ass and
interaction
taking
with the
names.
street teams?
Can I ask you a question? And just so everybody knows the context, you want to say what the owner of your club did at the community board meeting vis-a-vis the Comedy Cellar before you even opened?
You can go ahead. I know you
I'd
want
like
to
to
say
know.
it. Go ahead.
I don't know what is this? Community what?
There was a community board meeting where they
Okay.
were going to get their license.
Was it
whatever
in the
is.
community?
Yes. It was.
Okay.
It was and I was.
I love
there.
the stupid sarcasm. He literally stops his brain.
Thank you for inviting me.
I was
to
there
this,
just
Bobby.
by coincidence.
Who said that?
Me.
Okay.
Thank you
I
for
was there
inviting
by
me.
coincidence.
Yes.
And I wasn't really paying attention. I hadn't been there in a long time. And this guy who I'd never seen before, turns out it's Al Martin, gets up there and he's talking about opening a new comedy club. And the community starts questioning about where he's going to put his line. And then he pulls out of his briefcase or whatever, printed copies of Comedy Cellar website and starts handing it out to everybody. And he says, look, the Comedy Cellar claims to be able to have 4 shows in one night with 15 minutes in between. But let me tell you, I've been in this business for 20 years, and they're not being honest. And then he proceeds to start giving a presentation of why the Comedy Cellar is a bad club for the neighborhood.
Wow.
I don't know if it went quite like that.
It was quite like that.
Who were you
I
there,
mean,
Dustin?
I wasn't there.
Well,
Were you
how do
there, Noam?
Wait. How do you think it was? Tell me.
Well, I know he's a cutthroat businessman, much like yourself.
Just tell me where you think it was.
Can I ask you a question?
No. You say you don't think it was quite like that. What do you think it was like?
He was
Louis,
trying
stay
to
quiet.
get open on Madougal, and so he was doing what it took to get open.
Did he print out copies of my website?
I guess he did if you're saying he did, sure.
Okay. Now,
all right, that's business, though.
Now,
you present yourself in a way where you show
you guys
documents.
you guys think that's business. I've never conducted business that way. I wouldn't go
Okay,
before.
I have a question.
I wouldn't go before a neighborhood board and then try to take down a business down the block. I wouldn't
that
do
affect
that.
wasn't trying to take it down.
Actually, it did affect us.
Why?
because just not long ago I had another problem at the Fat Black Pussycat.
Right.
And the woman, Shannon from the Bamra, starts screaming at me about the Comedy Cellar line, and she started parroting Al Martin's presentation. You guys know you don't get your shows in fit. She doesn't know what she's talking about, except that she heard it at the Bamra meeting. So this is the context of the kind of business that's being done.
Well, I think the idea of it was to prove that, there's other clubs having shows back-to-back with lines. And so why can't we have a show with shows back-to-back with lines? But that's the idea of it.
He said that would have been fine. He said, but they're not being honest.
Okay.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Because you can't defend that because you weren't there.
Yeah, I can't.
All right, you gotta.
And I don't want to speak for Al.
Right, but you can't really. You can't say
It's the most
anything about it.
outrageous thing that I've ever come in contact with in the 25 years I've been doing this.
And he's met Joe List before.
Have you ever seen the?
I've never seen a business do that to another business.
I
was on the community board. I've never
I had
seen
such
it
a
happen.
funnier one than that shit dick, and he stepped right over me.
Sorry.
Hey, settle down now.
Okay,
Joe, levity. Say something.
I don't know. But well, I mean, there's a lot of pressure.
bitch.
I'm just waiting for my lines, and then I
So
want to step over the argument.
that's how the story
You don't work at
starts.
either one of these clubs.
Okay, so you came in angry from the get-go. I get it. And you took it out on me.
I didn't take it out on you.
All right, we're getting to that. We're getting to what
I was nice to you when you came in. I didn't take it out
Here's the
on
deal.
You're pretty
though.
shitty on the podcast about me, but that's all right.
Because you wouldn't come and talk about
this
it.
is what happened. This is what we're getting to. Is that on the podcast?
And I wasn't that shitty.
All this shit was said and done. Okay, all this shit was said and done. Whatever Al did, Al's the owner. You're the manager. Okay. But what happened was that on the podcast, you invited everybody. Nobody showed up, and then you kind of.
Kimowitz did.
Like I said, nobody showed up. Nobody of relevance in this bit. No, I'm kidding.
Myself and my boisterous partner Chris came, and we discussed the article.
He's very low key, Chris. He's not
He's very
boisterous.
low key,
He's a
Chris, but he's
journalist.
intelligent and he's a journalist. I think he
I
came
learned
out
a
very
lot.
well.
I learned a
in
lot
the
about
podcast.
Chris in that podcast. I didn't know he was a journalist.
Yeah.
He sounds like an
For many years.
ex shitty boxing promoter. You know what I mean? But he's a really intelligent guy.
I'm going to do my
Very
Chris
intelligent.
impression for the camera. There we
That's
go.
pretty good.
That's
thank
good
you.
on a podcast.
No, it's for the
dickhead.
camera, dick.
I know, but do that after. Anyways, you were there.
Yeah.
Now, when they started to talk, when that's what bothered you, and that's when Dustin contacted me. Is there any way I can get on your show with Noam to defend myself? Just because you didn't want to go on his show because you thought it wouldn't be.
Yeah,
That'll
I
be
felt this
neutral
would be
ground.
less biased.
Yeah,
here.
well, this is Noam's apartment and his building, but whatever.
But it's still you. I know
right,
you
right,
longer
right.
than I've known him, so I felt more comfortable.
What did Noam say? This is forget about the board and what Al did in the comedy club. And there are 3 points of people, and look, they try to get me tickets.
I know.
And that bothers me because they should know my fucking face. I'm famous.
Yeah, that's
At least down
that's a
here.
no-no.
Yeah, tell you fucking.
Oh, shut up.
Listen, we've had that. I mean, I've had a comic come in, and we have people in the neighborhood that are, hey, you looking to come to a comedy show? That sucks when
Here,
somebody
can
had performing there.
I told them the first time I
Says
did
you're
the first and
door
only
guy.
time I did a show at the Stand, I said, if I show up at the door and the lady goes, "May I help you?" I'm walking out. So they made sure when I walked up, the lady went, "Hello, Mr. Kelly. How are you?
Oh, yeah.
Right this way. Can I get you anything?"
Absolutely.
It was, yeah.
But I also want to say,
That's the way they treat him at every restaurant we go to.
I'm glad you
Boom.
own a comedy club.
yeah,
I think you're safe, Dustin.
I do. I think I'm all right. Great
funny.
set last night, by the way, at the Greenwich. You killed it, Robert.
What's the Greenwich? Oh, your club. I didn't even get I'm sorry, I forgot. I didn't know that was the name of your club. I thought it was the other one.
It was
Thank
funny
you.
if you would have rolled with it. but
Sorry,
that's- all right.
I thought I did it. Forget it.
Keith,
Anyways, I
Keith goes there all the time. All right.
Does he really? Oh, shit.
I'm kidding.
Did somebody hit that?
Don't try to blame me.
No,
I wrote somebody hit that.
I might have hit some of those weight. Hit that with some of those weight. Anyway,
hang on.
If we have Dan, check.
Are we not doing the
What-
bandana?
No, we're not doing the
We're talking
bandana.
about something else.
Listen, we had some technical. I don't know what the fuck we missed. Again, we're going to start at this point, wherever the fuck it is. Whatever we missed, that was God saying, I don't want this to be out there.
I don't want Noam to go to jail.
Because I want to explain myself.
no.
I want to explain myself to the
It was
comics.
before
All right,
when
so
Lewis
just
was
explain-
promoting his headlining show
If we
tonight.
if we
That's
have
right.
Dan Natterman performing at the Cellar, and the same night you have him performing down there at a lower price, and my customers are walking by, and then your flyer guys in 3 different points say to every one of my customers, they have Dan Natterman, but we have the same comics down the block for less money. That is an intolerable situation for me.
Yeah,
Number one. Number two, I tell you no. I'm not going to make have that kind of policy. But of course, I have a different relationship with every comic. And if a comic comes up to me and says, listen, no, I'm doing a special. Do you mind if I go down to... Very, very likely I'm going to say, yes, I don't mind. Very, very. But it's never even happened.
Okay, but that's what I asked you when we were talking. Because that was more important to me about the craft and letting comics grow as opposed to this bullshit.
But listen, you still haven't answered my
us.
basic thing.
I'll
Like I
answer
said,
any question you want.
Mamoon is right next door.
Okay.
If I surround Mamoons with flyer guys trying to induce people to buy the olive tree falafel, then there is a war between me and Mamoons. And then what happens comes from me taking that shot across the bow. You cannot take a shot across the bow. And you took 2 shots across the bow. One at the community board meeting and second with these flyer guys. And then say, oh, no, it's really unfair what you're doing to comics. You're doing it to comics. The same way terrorists who hide in schoolyards are responsible. In other words,
Dustin, you are the Al-Qaeda of comedy.
You are bringing it about. You're taking actions which you know are going to have a totally predictable reaction.
The fuck is terrorists in schoolyards?
Because what terrorists do
I know
is
what
they
they
hide
do.
in schoolyards,
Yeah.
and then when you defend yourself against it, oh, you're killing civilians. The comics, oh, it's not fair to the comics.
That's
you know
kind of
what?
outrageous.
Don't
What
do what
about
you're
this?
doing.
Hey, calm down. What about this? What about...
Get to the waitresses. I'm really curious. I really want to know.
No, I don't want your wife to get involved. I don't want her to hear
now
this
you-
stuff. I don't
now
want her
you
to hear
better
this
be
stuff.
careful.
No,
You
he-
be careful.
No, he
Shut
said,
up.
He said he didn't want you.
Well,
he
you
I
didn't
didn't want her to
want-
hear. I didn't want her
If
to
you're
hear
going to
these
accuse me of
things.
cheating on my wife, you better come out and say it. Don't imply it.
All right, shut
That's
up.
not clever.
Okay, all right. We get it. You don't think anybody's clever.
cheated? No,
We
I'm
get it.
kidding.
Can you name the podcast? Noam cheats on his wife.
Point of order. I think that's a sleazy thing to do.
It is
No,
sleazy. I apologize. I
All right,
shouldn't
there
say
you go.
that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
I'm bad for saying
Oh,
that.
yeah, that is terrible.
It's just, but for
I
you to,
cheat on.
you know,
No, I'm kidding.
I guess I got mad about what you said on the podcast, you know, about the my comedy and stuff, and it hurt my feelings.
Yeah,
And so
that's
I'm coming
real.
At it,
I believe
I'm
that.
coming at it like aggressively. So even doing this, I'm like, I can't believe he did that. That's the only thing that I care about. I care about 2 shits about anything else. Whether you ban me, whether you know think I'm a piece of shit, whether you think Al's the barking thing. It's just coming at my comedy. I've worked so hard to be a good comic.
You're coming at my
And-
business every day.
Yeah, wait, stop for a second, though. Listen to what he just said.
I started by saying I felt bad about saying it.
Yeah, but listen, here's the thing, too. Can I say something to you, though? Is
Yeah.
that like, okay, when I came here, the only club that worked me was the Boston.
Yes.
Okay, because it was owned by my management and the Comedy Cellar. Every other club told me to go fuck myself. I mean, I can't tell you how many times Lucian and Starla told me I wasn't funny enough to work their club. I was like, you know what? I don't give a fuck because I know how club owners are, and you find the club owner that gets your shit, and that's the club you work. Everybody wants to be, and here's the thing too: is that as soon as I got on HBO and stuff happened with me, I was in at every fucking club. Everybody so all of a sudden I became funny overnight to everybody, and then every festival booked me. All the festivals that said "fuck you," all of a sudden I did all of them in 1 year. All of them. So I understood that. So him saying that you're not funny, his father, like I said, didn't think I was funny when I got here. He
got it.
All right. I did it on a podcast.
But I don't. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, who gives a fuck?
And I'll be very.
But he did it on the podcast.
I'll be very respectful with this. I'm just asking a question. What is the true story about the banning of Patrice O'Neill? I heard he was banned because he made fun of your father and like as a joke, and then you guys banned him for years, even up until Patrice died. He wasn't allowed to play the Comedy Cellar.
That's not true.
Because
That's not true.
because
That's
he
not true.
told
Patrice didn't want to.
he
work
told
there.
Manny
Patrice didn't want to
something
work
about
there.
his teeth, and they were doing back.
I'll
and
tell you,
forth.
I've
That's
talked.
what I heard.
I've talked to Patrice about working the Cellar.
Yeah.
Okay, he was one of my best friends.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the facts. Is he did not want to come down and do comedy here. Just didn't. And it's not just here. He felt comfortable at certain places. And Noam, I've been at the table with Noam. You want to go up? You want to go? Nope.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. I don't. Not like disrespect. Nah.
Yeah, he and I were fine.
Yeah, I mean.
No, I just heard it. That's why I said.
Well, I was
like
at the
said
table
it.
when
Yeah.
it happened.
Okay.
I was there.
So something did happen.
I was there. Well, yeah, Patrice, that jackass, was uncomfortable because me and Ava was talking. Esty and Greg Giraldo and Norton were talking to Manny, and Patrice, stupid, was just sitting there and being ignored by everybody. And he got uncomfortable, and his uncomfortableness, he decided to ask a question, like he always does. And he went, "Yeah, yo, man, are those teeth? Are those real? Are those your real teeth?" Not trying to be. He was really wondering because Manny had great teeth. Okay, and he didn't understand what he was about to do. And Manny is a fucking prideful guy and didn't take shit from anybody and flipped out. You cocksucker! You motherfucker! You did that on a dish. You tried to embarrass me! Snapped on Patrice.
Yeah.
And we were all like, what the fuck?
Okay.
And we were like, stupid. We were yelling at Patrice, like, what are you doing, dummy?
Yeah.
And Patrice immediately kind of backpedaled, like, oh, shit, no, I was just, it's like, you're a fucking idiot. He fucked up.
Well, I
and
heard
that's the night Norton
Yeah.
actually left.
Okay.
You want to hear the truth?
Sure.
Norton got into a fight with Manny because he was like, he was an idiot, but he's just an idiot. He wasn't trying to embarrass. And then they got into a fight, and Norton said, fuck you, and he left and canceled all his spots for the weekend. Of course, he wormed his way back on Monday because he had nowhere else to go. But that was a thing that happened. But the one thing that I will say about Manny and Noam is that these fights, these arguments, and I've had them with Noam, I've had them with Manny. I mean, Manny walked up to me and said, he took me aside. I don't want you working Boston anymore. If you work Boston, you cannot work this club. And I said, I really appreciate what you do for me. And he goes, you don't have to. You do for me, I do for you. And I was like, well, that's not the way it is for me. I really appreciate what you do. And thank you for the opportunity, but I have to go if that's the case. Because I can't not do something because you're not my boss, and he went, okay, you can work here.
Okay,
literally, he went, okay, you can work both. You understand?
But that's what I was trying to get at. Is this like
you what happened? I'll tell you what happened. Is somebody who you maybe like or respect, or a club that when you got in here, like the rest of us, it's a badge of honor.
It's a huge deal.
It's a huge deal, and it kind of whatever happens, because it happens, and it's happened to me at clubs, and not at clubs in the city, clubs on the road that I love working, that I thought we had a good rapport. All of a sudden, they're not calling. They won't use me. They won't. But it fucks you up. You're like, what the fuck did I do?
But to say I didn't do well at this, I had one rough spot. It was, let me explain it. It was the second show on that stupid boat ride, and Noam saw it. And then after that, and it was weird. You know how those boat rides are. And the thing is, Esty booked me on the second one because if you don't kill on the first one, she won't book you on the second one. So I did 2 shows. So obviously I did well on the first show.
I don't know because I kill on all shows.
Well, let me talk about it. Just so I did the second show. It didn't go so well. There was some drunk chick up front. I didn't want to be mean on a boat. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things where you don't want to go after somebody too much.
It
was a mental thing.
I get it, but who cares?
And I could tell Noam, like I could just see it in his face.
Are you funny?
That he was.
Are you funny?
Yeah, but
why
let
do
me
you give a
explain
shit?
it. Can I explain it?
But
I just
why
want
do
to
you give a
explain the
fuck?
situation. I want to explain the situation.
I think you're funny.
Thank you.
You know you're funny.
I just want to explain it. It's just because,
but I don't understand why if he thinks you're funny,
because
or not
a lot
funny,
of people look up to him.
Nobody
looks up to
Robert,
Noam.
I own a club, and it's considered a prestigious club.
That's where you fucked
and
up.
I go on I didn't fuck up, but I go on I understand why he's upset. And I go on a podcast, and I say something negative about him.
Right.
And the people who don't know him and haven't seen him and haven't formed their own opinion, then that becomes an opinion that might...
It could cost me work. It's slander.
It's not slander.
Sort of.
But an
you
opinion,
paid me to do a bit. You paid me to perform.
It's un-American.
It's a little slanderous.
That's
a little.
But
little.
listen, when you lie down with dogs, you're going to get fleas. And what you guys have been doing over there...
No. We're going... Don't get off topic again.
What you guys have been doing over there is sleazy by anybody's standards. You wouldn't even go on record saying you're comfortable with it.
You understand what he just said a minute ago was pretty fucking... I mean, for someone to admit, look, you said that I'm not funny. That fucking hurt my feelings. That's pretty manly to say to somebody.
I told you that's what he would feel.
But
I told you I understand it.
But that's pretty manly, dude. That's a pretty ballsy thing to say in front of a room full of motherfuckers.
And that's to knock me out. It was manly too. I'm not sure.
That is pretty. If he knocked you out, that'd be pretty badass.
I'm not going to knock you out,
especially in your own apartment. I'd just lie you in your bed in the other room.
And when he threatened about to tell my wife that I'm cheating on her, that was pretty.
Hit you in the head with one of your guitars like Jeff Jarrett.
But look,
but
man,
the thing is, then after the boat ride, I opened the first nasty show at the Cellar, and I destroyed in front of you. I know you saw that set.
Did he destroy?
I destroyed in front of you. Yes, you did. You were sitting on the stool.
I don't remember.
Yes, well, I saw it.
Honestly,
trust me, comics know when you're around.
That was a Christmas
elf. And you were around. You were either on the stairwell, but you were there, and I destroyed. And it's like, for you to say I didn't do well at the Cellar is wrong.
Listen,
I have the videos to prove it.
Okay, but if I was there,
I did well. Esty wouldn't have booked me if I bombed all the time.
Well, let me tell you, I didn't tell Esty to stop booking you. I never did tell Esty that.
You told me that. You said that in the podcast.
He said it in Hebrew.
What I said was that. No, actually, I don't believe I said that in the podcast. I think I said in the podcast that I told Esty that I wasn't comfortable with what you were doing.
What were you not comfortable with?
And she kind of just eventually trickled out your spots on her own.
Ratting people out fucking other girls, apparently.
The least, by the way, you were pretty doodly for talking about your golden gloves, but then you fucking went the complete chick route.
Because I think she began to feel the same way. And she had told me, and I remember this, I think she even emailed it to me, that you had started doing a different, like a more of an ethnic humor act, which you hadn't done previously, and she didn't think it was going over either. And listen, just to be
he
fair,
became too American.
But I want to make a point to be fair to him. Often with certain comics, there's an arc to their thing, and sometimes they go into a new thing and try new things, and then we book them less because they're just not doing
what you initially booked them for.
As we think. It doesn't mean they're no longer funny. It's just maybe their choice at that particular time.
What you're referring to is those ethnic jokes, or what I used on my audition. And when I destroyed on my audition here, and then those are the jokes that I continue to use on occasion, mostly. So it's like, that's just wrong, and it's false. Because
Joe,
I
how do you
use
feel
those
about
jokes.
all this?
Levity. Feel levity.
Joe, why are you so uncomfortable, dude?
You guys are talking business. What about? I have nothing to say.
And who doesn't do ethnic jokes at the cellar?
I'm not invited.
Come on.
I don't.
Part of this. I don't know.
Amy Schumer, come on. DePaulo, come on. Who does it?
We have no objection with ethnic jokes, but you were doing like strictly a spectrum, like a rainbow of ethnic jokes. It became most of your act. And when I saw it, I didn't think it was.
Was this before he started working at the other place?
Before.
So you stopped working here before you became manager of the other place?
The spots slowed down a little bit, and that's why but to say it because of the ethnic jokes is ridiculous.
Look, listen. I have opinions. I own the club, and over the long term, if I make the right choices, I'll do well.
Have you ever grabbed a microphone and done stand up?
No.
Now that's the problem with stand-up comedy.
No,
yes, it is.
No, but I've been in an audience, and the audience is who decides whether you're good or not
Absolutely.
Other comics.
And comics, the audiences came up to me, and like a lot of people from Alabama and Texas, they loved what I was doing.
Listen,
those racists.
What I'm saying is
exactly,
dude. What you said about those fucking listen, bing, bing, bing.
We have a certain sensibility here, and it's worked for us, and we
I
usually
hate the
agree.
Jews too, man.
And I was destroying. And
listen, Dustin, do you book everybody? Any comic that wants to go to your club, do you just give them a shot?
No.
I will give him a shot if I feel that,
But has there been somebody that you gave a shot and then you've thought that I'm not working out? And
Louis J. Gomez.
No, if they crush the room.
Is that serious?
Yeah, he was booking me for a while and he stopped.
So wait,
why? Why did you stop?
Because I started managing a club next door. And
why
putting
did
my
you
barkers in front of his
I
club?
didn't stop booking. I didn't stop booking.
Goes all the way down to the Hudson.
I didn't stop booking Lewis.
What happened?
I'm kidding, dude. Jesus.
I didn't stop.
Well, does he still work there?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know how it is. People come at you, it's like,
what about
you can only
you,
get
Dave?
so many spots.
Kimowitz?
Yeah, what's up?
Kimowitz. What are you...
I mean, I've been strategically just
why? What about... no, because it's getting a little cloudy here.
Sure.
What, have you booked somebody and then stopped booking them because it's not what you initially thought they were?
I mean, yeah, the truth is, and I think we were talking
Joe
about
DeRosa.
it
Just say his name.
No, I love Joe. I mean,
No, you don't.
Nobody loves Joe.
Joe
He's a great
kills
comic.
at the stand. He's been killing. I think that in general, it's a difficult position and you manage a club, so you know this as well. There's a lot of comics in New York. A lot of comics that you like. And then there's better comics, and then there's more famous comics. And as a club owner and booker, you only have so many spots.
Right.
So you're thinking at it from a business sense.
You want the
who
most
can I
famous
promote
people,
and get people in seats? And the people, like
that's why I told
Noam
them
said, they may not be the best comedy judges of who's funny, but those are the people that are paying tickets to come and see comedy in your club. So that is...
I think they're good judges.
They often are, not always, but at the end of the day, you want... Whether that is the case or not, you want your goal number one is to fill your room.
But it's your formula of comics. I mean, yes, you have people, but your guys are paying.
Sure.
You can tell your guys.
Yeah. No,
you can tell the cellar comics. You can tell like you said, you have your taste of what you have at your club.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to rip off the seller's lineup.
No, but I don't understand why if he stops using you, like I've been stopped. I think we've all.
I don't
had
care that he stopped using me. It was just what he said about my comedy is what made me react.
Honestly, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about what I said. I really, being honest, when I said I meant to go back and take it out. I had a lot of ambivalence about saying it.
No, I think it's fake.
But I
It was
will
very
tell
nice.
you that the reason I never say a public word bad about a comic. The reason I felt emboldened to say it was because that article started with, instead of saying, Noam called me into a meeting because we had started some very aggressive tactics towards his business, he called me into a meeting to tell me he wasn't going to book me anymore, which is 180 degrees, the opposite impression of what that meeting was about. It was not about your spots at all.
Question.
And someone reading that article would get exactly the opposite opinion of me. And I feel like you live by the sword, you die by the sword. If you're going to be ballsy enough to say it to the New York Times with tens of thousands,
I didn't say that,
hundreds
though.
of thousands of people.
What did you say? I didn't say that.
Hundreds of
That's
thousands
not
of
what
people
I said, though.
hundreds of thousands of people reading it.
Okay.
Then to me to say it on a podcast where thousands of people listen to it,
What did you say?
You still got the better of it.
What did you say?
First of all, and I apologize for this bullshit waitress thing. There's nothing. I got nothing on you. You're an honest guy. Okay.
You lied?
Second of all, I didn't lie, but
So wait, he did.
So you're lying now. So he did fuck.
I'm discounting my source.
That's what it was.
I'm discounting my
It got
source.
ugly.
I'm discounting my
shit.
source. It's a disgruntled waitress. Okay, but
shit. Well, I know for a fact that Dave has fucked men.
Multiple men.
And Dustin,
That's not
just the
fair.
fact that you're so quick to resort to what is obviously below the belt makes me think that maybe you have all this coming to you, because that's pretty sleazy to pull that out. Even more sleazy to
did
do it
get
by
ugly,
innuendo about waitresses.
it's a reaction to what you said about me.
Not everybody would have that kind of sleazy reaction.
I am sleazy. I never said I wasn't.
My assessment of the situation, because I was at the podcast as a guest, was I do think Noam was specifically talking about the article and defending himself about how he portrayed you, which obviously is offensive to you personally as a comic. That he was saying it wasn't based on business practices. He specifically was changing his booking, which is his right as a club or whatever his difficulty is to book whoever he likes or doesn't like. I don't think he was trying to offend you. Obviously, that's on a personal level that offends you.
Joe, let's
No,
your take.
but,
I think that-
but you know,
Your take.
let's take Cringe Humor for example. As soon as the club opened,
stinks. Right.
Cringe
It's awful.
Humor took me off the site. As soon as the club opened,
That's definitely not true.
It is true.
That's
You can ask
not
Patrick.
true.
I asked him about
I
it.
will ask Patrick, but
Yeah.
I would say this: one is nothing to do with the other.
Did you stop using
If
Dustin?
that's the case. First of all, we're a 3-month-old
Don't stutter,
club.
pussy.
And
Yeah,
second of all,
don't stutter.
Dustin has
Are you
not
stooping your
performed that.
waitresses? I heard you were stooping your waitresses.
I'm engaged.
Oh,
I'm
what an
happily
awesomely
engaged.
Jewy way.
fucking your waitresses.
What an
You're
awesomely
engaged?
Jewy way to describe fucking stupid.
You're not married yet?
No,
So you
March,
do what you
I'm
want.
getting married in March.
Wow, I can't believe you're fucking people.
March.
Oh, this is tomorrow.
Dustin,
No,
you
Dustin
do it.
hasn't performed at the club, and I think that in all fairness, it is a business, and there is somewhat subtle competition, or you can have respect for each other. But obviously, that's a tough position to have somebody who is. You're the manager of the club. It's your goal to make your business as successful as possible. As the club owner, 6 storefronts down, that's a tough thing to have the manager of your direct competition performing and potentially bringing talent or people, more than talent, because I agree with you, and that was a big part of our conversation, is that the goal ultimately would be
Strip your waitresses?
No, it's synergy amongst all of the clubs.
It's
in New York City.
It's a very hard thing to actually say to somebody, you can't work my club because you're the enemy.
But it's also, in
you're
fairness
not-
to Noam, is he has great comics to have on his lineups, and because you're the enemy. You're right. That's a cold line.
But ultimately,
Okay.
they're bars with mics. Without the comedians,
Absolutely.
they're nothing.
Can I ask you
And-
a thought exercise? Like,
Yeah.
really, imagine tonight they have 3 flyer guys from the Village
And
Comedy
that's what I
Club
was going to
surrounding your door.
defend him on.
How
that.
are
is
you
I
gonna
think
react?
Be
Be
that's
honest.
a difficult thing. I think you would, if you were in his position, and I was saying the real story. I think more, if he is going to be upset about something, is the flyering in front of practice. The flyering practices in front of your
That's all I care
club.
about.
But it's not
And,
okay.
And I'm not saying you're right or wrong. You're right. It is America. You could do whatever you want. It's his Bourbon Street. But you
It
still
is.
have to, at the end of the day, take responsibility for it and say it is what it is. This is our street as well. We have a club on it, and we're going to market the street, and that is your right. But obviously, it's going to create some kind of friction where you should probably kind of find some kind of middle ground.
not neighborly.
There is a solution to that.
There's a caddy roll that's right above us,
Yeah.
and a Corritos, which is another Indian type of
Yeah.
restaurant, opened right next door. they actually both flyer.
I
They
don't think
flyer
either of
for
them
each
should be
other.
allowed in America.
You've seen that, right? Cotty Roll is an Indian place that has the
but Indian people
stuff.
are weird, dude.
But it's like they're
Gross.
two Indian restaurants, and they both flyer for each other.
I mean,
and
that's
they're right in front of each other.
My opinion is if you're flyering his line, that's
they're right.
wrong. If
We're
you're
not-
flyering the street
We're
and you're
flyering
just trying to get
across
people that are
the-
walking by,
those-
then,
Listen, I have more control over Dustin's flyer street team than he does. If I move my line somewhere else, that's where
Yeah.
his street team will go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just glad that my
Let's be-
club is
let's be honest.
$10 cab ride.
Al Martin even said it in the article. Yeah, I guess.
I got a solution. Take your street team, put it in front of the stand.
Yeah.
Take those people.
Listen,
No,
you're right,
it's tough.
You're
I
right
mean,
next to
this
Bleecker
is a-
Street, which is a busier street than McDougal. Put your street team on Bleecker Street. Leave.
But you had problems with CB's too. And
They were
that
doing the
was down
same thing.
street. Okay.
And I know for a fact they were doing the same thing.
I don't know.
worked that club.
It's definitely a tough one because
Well,
this is your
and
street.
Wayne
It's not,
Rader,
a,
that crazy-
it's not a tough one. It's not a tough one.
We should have
Look,
invited Wayne on this
it's
show.
whether you run business
And Al.
above board or
Yeah.
below board. Okay,
Agreed.
there's no gray area. If you, like you said, it's a business.
Bourbon
you do
Street,
what you
baby.
got to fucking do,
Bourbon
or you
Street,
go. You know
right.
what, dude? I'm not.
You know what, dude?
You know what, dude?
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, I didn't finish it. How can you agree?
I know where you're going.
What are you, psychic?
Fucking corporate Dave over here. That's who he is.
You find out, okay, you don't like them near your line. We're not doing that. They'll be on Bleecker, they'll be at Ben's, and they'll be up on 6th Ave getting people. We won't put it. And then he goes, okay, thank you. And then you move the fuck
But our
on.
street is McDougal, so they're
Right.
going to be on
Can you
McDougal.
why do you
Yeah,
say
but it doesn't
McDougal that
matter.
way?
It really doesn't matter.
You keep on saying McDougal really
but Dustin,
Shut up.
it doesn't.
It, funny.
Dustin,
It really doesn't matter.
So if you
I mean,
want-
where you get people to go to? Yeah, how many seats do you have?
Like 60. That's
Dude,
the
to get-
thing.
yeah, but here's the thing. Yeah, but if that's the thing, then don't do it.
Right.
If you know what I mean, it's like you don't have to put them right at his line. That's kind of
They're
like
not.
a fuck you
Okay.
right on the street. Because if this was one
right.
street, it's Bleecker and 6th and over
Boston,
here.
Boston used to do the corner across from Ben's. That's where the Boston was.
Yeah,
That's
what's
pretty
wrong
close.
with that?
That's pretty close to the cellar.
Yeah, but
No,
it's
it was right
actually,
there.
Boston used to do it, and then we had a meeting with them, and then they pulled it back from the corner.
Okay, I ran Boston the last 2 years of Boston.
Right.
I was the guy that was over there.
Right.
And we always had somebody around in that corner for at least the last 2 years
so
I was
you,
there.
it is you.
Listen,
It is you.
bottom line is this.
Yeah,
You
why don't
are the
we
mother.
should
It's not
come up
Al.
with
It's
the-
fucking you.
We should solve this right here and come up with the lines.
No. I've tried
Why
that.
can't- why
I've tried
can't
that,
we?
and they've ignored every.
Yeah, but
Let's
yeah,
come
but,
up with the
but
fair
we're-
lines.
It's here
Okay,
right
what
now.
about this? Let's
It's here now.
say we did come to some compromise. Then would you come to a compromise about I book certain comics one month, you book certain comics the other month, so comics can play both rooms. Would you do something like that?
Where
I
you
can have
mean-
Greer
what-
Barnes for the first 2 weeks, you have him for the next 2 weeks. You know?
I think what you're suggesting is more offensive to the comics than what I'm doing.
Why is that more offensive?
We're divvying up where they can
Well,
work.
no, 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 no.
divvying.
And
We're
you guys
letting them
aren't-
play
Can I
both
just-
places.
can I just- can I just-
Let
let
us
us
play both places.
Where, no, you're saying, look, you don't say to somebody, you can work whatever. Look, first of all, as a comic, if a club owner says you can't work here, fuck off. That's what your response should be.
Absolutely.
We're in our thing. It should be your own choice. I don't work not your club and the cellar because Noam tells me if I work at your club, fuck you. I've already went through this with his father. I just work here because I'm more comfortable here. I don't like doing 90 spots. But if I had to do spots for some reason, I've been to the Village Lantern. I've been to the other club. I just feel comfortable here. But what you're saying is not work here one week and here the other week. You're saying let guys work at my club.
Yeah, I was just saying
without
compromise with
without
scheduling
but
to respect.
Listen,
that's all.
what's interesting to me is that I've never actually told any comic they can't work there, but the word is filtered out.
you do fuck
but
waitresses.
Some people have been
what's
advised.
interesting is that they're very sympathetic because everybody sees these flyer guys, and it's so indefensible. People who normally would be offended by the fact we're telling them not to work somewhere say, you know what, Noam, I really can't blame you, because they can't believe the balls of what's going on here.
But there's some very funny guys that you guys don't book that just it's
That's
an
good for
alternative
you,
for
though.
them.
That's
yeah,
good
it
for
is.
you.
And they basically
Right?
they're great I mean,
because
HBO type level.
And here's the
comics.
thing, though. Here's the thing, though, is you're going to give these guys
Yeah.
exposure. They're
Yeah.
going to get so good and famous that then they'll work at the cellar
Well,
and
that's
stop
what's
working
happening
at your place.
now. That's what's happening now.
Really?
It's,
Is it
yeah,
really?
Absolutely. It's like there's some guys that came through us, and then now they're starting to work here, and it's
Right.
like that's good. That's what you want.
That's what it has to be. I mean,
that's a gym.
I don't look at your lineups. I don't look at the cellar lineups. we have blinders on. We have who we
Yeah,
like.
we saw your lineups. Apparently, you do. Fucking
Pretty
asshole.
solid this past
Earplugs
weekend.
in, and
Man, that Jimmy Fallon last Sunday was a terrible booking.
Yeah, well, fuck you. That will all end in the first year.
Maybe, hopefully not.
You're
But,
gonna be stuck with Dante.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
listen.
man.
The truth is, you're right. I mean, you gotta
It's fucked up, dude. Dante's
book your
hilarious.
club as you see fit, and Noam can book his club as he see fit.
Right.
You obviously have a difficult situation because you guys are.
Here's
you know,
the thing, though. Can you
You're butting next
can
to each
you
other.
can you say right now? It's like, look, man. You said what the initial thing was is that he fucked you up with what he said about your comedy.
Right.
He apologized for that. He explained why he did it. You explained why you got mad. Okay, so we're over that. You guys both fucking agreed that you both fucked up in reaction to, but. He has a legitimate gripe where it's like you're trying to, and you admitted that look, it is what it is. It's business.
It is.
You got,
Right, but then you got.
It's business when he does that. But when I try to defend myself, then I'm violating some like We Are the World, which is perfect, where all the comedians should work everywhere. Blah. Then all of a sudden, like
didn't say that.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're saying. If you're going to be aggressive and do
Okay.
things, then of course I have every right to defend myself. But
You do. You do.
key fact is I'm defending myself.
But
I'm
can't
not
you
aggressive
come to
towards
it-
you.
The big scheme of the whole thing, it's like the seller's going to be fine. You're always going to have money. Like that place has been there
You know
forever.
what? Now
It's going
you're
to be
getting me
fine.
upset. How the hell do you know? We haven't always
do
been
not
fine.
tell a Jewish man he will always have money. You're really
never-
tapping into his fucking.
Jesus, Dave's getting red.
I am nervous.
Dave is going to go back to Middle Earth.
But it's such an arrogant thing to say to somebody.
Comfortable there. Very comfortable.
Businesses
there.
don't go out of business. Improv
They
didn't
do.
go out of business. Catch a Rising Star didn't go out of business.
Because they didn't have good street teams.
How great would this be if the seller was out of business next year and Dustin was the new king of McDougal, and I'd be over there doing a podcast?
It's such a ridiculous thing to say.
I really feel
We got to keep our show and our
Okay.
our
All
food
right, you're
and
right.
service and prices good every single day, or
Right.
we will deteriorate.
Right.
Okay.
That's true.
Can we just talk about cutting for Bieber now already? Anybody?
I'll always have money. I'll always sell her. Come on.
This is
You-
way
what do you
more
think? It's just
interesting.
easy?
Well, look at you.
How'd
you're
you get your
talking-
business? How'd you get your business?
But look, you're an owner. You're an
gonna
owner.
come at me about easy? Come on, man. I had to
one
work
second,
for
though.
everything.
But you're a manager of a comedy club and a
All
comedy.
right, hold on. No,
if
let
you
me, hold on.
became-
No, Robert, I got to
became-
answer that because it's you say you're trying to be nice, but you're really fucking nasty. But I know what you're implying.
Nasty too. We were moving somewhere else,
I didn't
and
say
you go
anything nasty.
back.
No, you define nasty. I'm talking about nasty personal attacks. I'm answering the merits of what you're saying, and then you want to take a shot at me because the business came down through my family. But I had a long history before I worked here. I went to law school. I went to an
Right
Ivy
there,
League
right
law school.
there.
I opened the Cafe Wah from scratch. After being good, and I built it up to be famous all over the world. I opened the Fat Black Pussycat from scratch.
Right.
I opened the Village Underground from scratch.
Yeah, he makes fucking homemade cookies from scratch.
And then
with no roof.
And then when I took over the Comedy Cellar after my father died 10 years ago, although my father was fantastic, I managed to continue to grow it, and it's grown
from scratch.
Not from scratch, but for you to take it. Do you think the Comedy Cellar was well run?
Is it now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Do you think it has good lineups? Does it have a good reputation? Does it have good reputation with customers? People feel satisfied when they come down there?
Except for that bathroom thing, but yeah.
All right, you think that's because I inherited it? You think that just happens by itself after 10 years? After somebody dies, it runs itself?
From scratch?
I'm not saying you haven't done a good job.
You're not
taking
saying I'm
over a
cheating on my
business.
wife. You're not saying. Come
All
on
right.
now. You really are.
No,
nasty.
we are. You
You're
are
a nasty
cheating.
guy.
You
And
are
you're a
cheating.
nasty guy too.
No, I'm really not.
Yeah, you are.
What did I say that was nasty? Name one nasty thing I said to you during this podcast.
The shit you said about my comedy is unforgiving.
That's true.
That's not nasty.
Yeah,
I
it
said
is.
that when I saw him sing, I didn't enjoy his set. If you're gonna ask, you know what? Then you're right. Then nasty. If you're gonna ask me for my opinion, and the only alternatives I have are to lie or to be nasty. I was telling you the truth, how I felt. That's not nasty.
You know what?
Bobby, you know I don't like confrontation.
Yes.
You know I have panic disorder. You know I have anxiety disorder. You asked me to come here. I think it's very unfair. I'm fucking losing my mind over here. I'm going to kill myself. I'm 11 days sober. I'm on fucking edge. Jesus Christ. You asked me to come to this podcast?
I
Holy
wanted you here
shit.
for levity.
No levity. And then you're giving me looks like I'm supposed to cut in on fucking an
Dude, no, he
argument.
only fucking.
I got nothing.
He invited us because we
Bad
don't work
idea.
either of these
I knew it would
places.
be.
You're
I knew it
driving
would
me to
be.
drink.
I knew it would be.
It's
I
not
knew
a-
I wouldn't be able to
it's
contain
not-
We're
myself.
supposed to
Here's
be
the
good
deal.
friends. You're 26 years
Not
sober.
good.
I'm 11
I knew
days
it.
sober. I'm about to drink the whole fridge.
Joe, can you hand me a
it.
beer?
Jesus.
Here's
I will
the
hand
deal.
you-
No, you will
I'm gonna
not.
hand
You know,
myself a beer.
I wish you had the
Joe.
I'm not drinking. I'm kidding.
I wish you had the audio of what I said about his, because I went out of my way in that podcast to still say he was very, very nice.
Yeah, but
we had a nice conversation. I mean, I really, it's
Dustin.
not like I just dumped on
Yeah,
him.
but
I
here-
said one negative thing about it, and it was just truthful.
Here's-
Because what he said to
it
the
wasn't
Times,
truthful
what he said to the Times
about you
what-
saying that I didn't do well at the club. That's not
what
truthful.
I said was we'd already basically stopped using you.
But that's not truthful. I destroyed at the club. I know when I do good. I know when I do bad. Trust me.
Obviously, you don't.
I do know when I do
No,
well.
you don't.
Lewis, do I not know when I have a good set?
I can't speak for what you know, but I think you do well on stage.
I do well on stage, man. And I would know if I bombed at the cellar. Trust me.
But here's the
It's
deal.
just- it's-
Here's the
it's
deal,
just not
though.
true.
Here's the deal: is that like you, man, you're the manager of a club. That when somebody bombs, you don't think that person thinks that they're good enough to work your club, and then
Didn't
when
even use the word bombed.
But when you stop working them, they're like, "What the fuck is wrong with this
I
guy?"
don't stop working people that have rough sets because I get it. I get stand-up comedy. I understand sometimes you're going to have a shitty crowd. Sometimes you're going to try out a new bit that doesn't go over. That doesn't mean you shouldn't use the person. Joe DeRosa is a prime example of a guy that takes
He
risks.
never does well.
He takes a risk, though, but he's doing something different, so sometimes the crowd might not go with him. But I can see that as a comic. I can see that he's taking a
But
risk and taking
there is a
chance.
point where you should stop working him. I mean, let's be real.
But that's what I'm saying. And then someone's so quick to be like, "Oh my God, he had one bad set at
I
the
wasn't quick.
thing, and bam, let's not book him anymore."
Listen,
because
I told you the truth.
He didn't do well at the boat thing.
I didn't. I never told Esty to stop booking you.
You said on the
I
podcast.
told Esty.
You said
I
that.
told Esty that no. You
In the
better listen again.
podcast. I'll
I did not.
look at it.
I said in the podcast that I told Esty that I didn't think you were funny when I saw you on the boat, and I never. I made a point. I said I never told her to stop booking you. Then she saw you a few more times. We got some bad feedback from you from customers, and eventually on her own, without even telling me.
They were black customers, though.
Without even telling me. She had basically trickled down your spots. You were never banned. It was not like we don't book Dustin anymore.
But then
she just wasn't
on
using
the
you.
Okay,
And then you stopped using. You stopped. Yeah, go ahead.
On the podcast, you said that I told Esty to not book him as much. It's
no.
on the podcast, and we're going to go back, and we're all going to hear it. And you said it.
Okay.
But here's the deal: is that it's look, shit. People react to shit. People say something, and you want to say something back. I don't think you're a bad guy. I think you're a decent guy, Dustin. I wouldn't have you on my show if I thought you were a fucking dickhead. I'd be like, fuck him. I think you're a good guy, and I think that you react to things you said about whatever. I got shit on you. That's not you. You're a fucking decent person. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
It's
what happens is,
reaction, you know.
Why is that not him? He did
it's
it.
reaction to shit. But I don't think
Because he knows me. You don't know me.
I think it's look, man.
He knows your act.
I think
Every time I see you, you say I'm not getting the right impression of you.
Every time you see me.
Yeah, when I see you on stage, that's not really as funny as you are. When I see you in person,
I'm
that's not really as nasty
am.
as you are.
I am as funny as I am. And God forbid somebody have a little lull in their set. What the fuck, dude? You gotta let comics have a moment. That you can't just you're gonna write me off on one little set on a boat where people were drunk
I
at like
didn't do
11
that.
o'clock.
You got sets after the boat.
Yeah, and I destroyed in front of you.
So then why did Essie stop booking you?
But did he stop? Listen, the thing is that he doesn't work here anymore. But who gives a fuck?
Same reason DeRosa doesn't work there, Mike Britt. So all these, I can go. The list can go on.
Well, what's the reason?
Because you just stop. There's no reason for it. Those are great comics.
But what do you think the reason is?
I don't know. You
Personal?
tell me. I don't know. That's what I'm trying to get at. You know, sometimes you just stop booking people. Just for no reason at all. My friend Nate Bargatze has like Conan and Comedy Central half-hour specials. You guys wouldn't book him at all. He's a great comic, and he always complained.
He's
you know,
all right.
He's a great comic. But I'm just
Godfather of
saying,
my child, by the way.
there's a list of guys. There's a list of guys that you just kind of book because you don't want to book them.
Make some jokes. Somebody.
I'm trying. I'm looking at Joe List's face, and it keeps hypnotizing
I'm
me.
going to kick him in his fucking dumb head, dude, and be funny. That's
I'm
why
mad
you're
at
here.
you for inviting me on here.
I'll never.
Me too.
I'll
Me
never
too.
invite you on again. I'm sorry,
Joe, you don't have anything to lose. You don't get booked at any
I didn't
of
know
these
it was
places.
a very special episode. I have a comedy seller story that
Go
I
ahead.
told you before.
Please.
I got passed in 06. It was the first club. Nick DiPaolo was a friend of mine. He recommended me. It was the first club I ever got passed at. I had no business being here. Nick was very nice. I did one set, bombed, and then Esty was like, "How did it go?" And I was like, "Not good." And then Colin was like, "What?" He's like, "Why did you say that?"
No, you
Never
always
say
say,
that.
you'd always say
He's
it
like,
goes
"You
well, no
should
matter
never
how
say
bad
that."
it was.
And that was it.
That's great advice, by
But
the
that
way.
was, I mean, I don't want
Never-
that to be
dude,
swayed. I had not done TV at the time. I'd never been in New York. I had no business.
So you
being
don't
on the
work.
show.
You don't work the Comedy Cellar.
I do not.
You do not.
But I got passed
Louis J.
7 years
Gomez,
ago.
do you work the Comedy Cellar?
6 years ago.
No.
Does it bother you?
No, because I never auditioned.
What about you? Does it bother you?
It doesn't bother me. I mean, I would like to work here, but it doesn't bother me.
When was the last time you auditioned for Esty?
06.
So why don't you say something? You can audition for Esty.
Well, Colin said he was going to say something, and then he forgets.
But I've seen you like a half dozen times in the last. Why don't you say something to me?
I don't know.
I would love to audition.
So
for
now
the
you're glad you
Comedy
did.
Cellar.
Now you're glad you're on this episode.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me on the episode.
You're gonna get an audition.
Every
to work
time
the
I'm
Comedy
on
Cellar.
a podcast with a comic, they get an audition right now.
How'd it go with
Giannis got one.
Giannis? How'd it go with Giannis?
That's actually a really funny story. The night that we had that podcast, Giannis was on it, and Giannis got a chance to audition, and he's waiting. It was like 11:15. He actually missed the set in Brooklyn, so he can take his 11:15 spot, and he's sitting there ready to go.
He missed
up.
the set at the
And,
cookie factory.
He's waiting to go.
Yo,
obviously
man,
excited.
enjoy your chocolate chip cookies. Next up, Giannis Pompous, motherfucker.
He's getting ready to go on and very excited at about 11:15, and Chris Rock showed up and bumped him right as he's about to go on.
You put
Who
you
did
put
more
a
time,
fucking-
Giannis or Rock?
He just walks right by him. Chris Rock is here.
Wow.
If anybody knew who Giannis was, that was a great joke, Joe.
Did you really put Giannis up after Chris Rock for?
No. Chris showed up as he was about to go on. And said he
Giannis
wanted to
came
do
another
time.
day.
What?
Then Giannis came another day.
Oh, okay. Wow,
Because
that's
he said he
fucking-
auditioned, so I didn't know how it went.
So here's the deal. I mean,
pretty funny.
Look, you guys are both on the same block. The Comedy Cellar's here. This is the main club on this street. It's been here for 30 years. You guys are an upstart right on the doors away from these people. You open up a comedy club. It's a rough fucking patch, but I believe there, when you run a business, you don't have to be a cutthroat. You don't have to be fuck you. You can run your business and get, like you said, you're selling AC/DC, they're selling Led Zeppelin. All right, your comedy show is different. It's a smaller crowd. You can fill your crowds and learn how to get your audience that don't go to the Cellar, because they like coming to your place because of the atmosphere, because of what you present, because of the shows, and that's your thing. As a manager of a club, that's your responsibility to produce the type of show that you think people want to see. And you really don't need to put somebody right at the line. You can put them over on the other streets and get the same results. You're getting the same people, because you're walking down McDougal, you're gonna hit Bleecker. People on 6th Ave, you're gonna get 60 people. If you're selling a 500-seater or a 350-seater, okay, I get it. But it's 60 people.
Well,
you don't have to fucking put something. You don't have to have that person
Robert,
taking people
drawing
offline.
60 people is not that easy. Drawing
It's
30
not.
people.
I know, but it's not 350. It's not Caroline's. It's
You
not
still
a.
have
But
the
we
right.
used to have trouble
as long
drawing
as
10
you're
people.
Caroline's, which I'm headlining
As
tonight,
long as you're
7:30.
not on the property, I think you should have the right to be across the street or something. That's fine.
true, but
There's
you
nothing wrong
Dustin,
with
do
that.
what you want, and don't complain if we try to protect ourselves.
Who's complaining?
Oh,
I didn't complain about you
Yeah, he just said
protecting
you were
yourself.
banging your waitresses.
Yeah.
I can't
I
even
just said
walk
you're
in
cheating
there and
on your
have
wife.
I think, yeah, it sounds like you're bitter about it. Security won't let me in.
I was bitter about that. I told you what I was bitter
and
about.
Let me tell you something. I'm not easily going to forgive you, actually, for the things that you've said.
I'm not going to forgive you either.
But the truth is that even if he weren't working down the block anymore, or not even that, if they just weren't aggressive like that anymore towards us, and he was doing well, I would book him. I don't care. It's not personal.
Why would you book me now, and then now you're saying you wouldn't book me then?
Did you hear what I said?
Like,
Did you hear the if you were doing well?
And
I
if
was
you were
doing
funny.
well. No,
What I'm saying is that
I was
don't-
crushing.
What I'm- my
Linda, was I not doing well?
Oh, don't bring her
I was
into
doing
it. What
well.
is- she doesn't know.
I was doing.
What-
Yes,
what-
she does.
Linda just shook
Yes,
the camera.
she
No,
does.
No, Linda's not going to side
The
with you. She's fucking
waitresses
no.
know. Ask the waitress.
Hold on. I want. Is she the mole?
I don't know who the
Linda?
mole is. No.
What's a
no,
mole?
No.
The mole. I want to call it. I obviously have-
Why would you care if there was a mole if nothing happened?
You can't call me a mook.
I'm just saying that something can get me very personally angry, but I don't care. I just want to put the best comics on.
But
don't
I
need to
did
like
well.
Right.
Jesus.
Look,
I'm glad you think you did well.
I did do well.
Okay.
All right, this is really hilarious.
I don't give a fuck what you say. This is some interesting.
I believe
business.
you've done- I believe
And
you've
looking
done
at
well.
Joe lists fucking uncomfortable fingers and
I
face.
did not come here to be heard.
With his
That's
dildo
for sure.
thing. Hilarious.
Joe's just been stroking that wooden cock.
I
the
really
entire
have. I
podcast.
really enjoy it.
Yeah, that's what he did back in the fucking junior high too. When
Yeah.
he,
You know
he
what-
got nervous from bullies, he just stroked a guy's cock.
I still do that, and I have to admit something I didn't admit in the previous four
goodness.
podcasts.
What?
I bought this is for my own personal use, and I had no gift for the Yankee swap, and I'm very bitter that I didn't get it back.
Really?
That's why I'm playing with it.
Yeah, well, you're not getting it back now that you told me that story.
By the way, my
I plan on sticking that in my ass.
Yeah.
Well, all right, that was.
I don't know
funny.
if I should give. I don't know if I should give my opinion here.
You
because
should.
I will.
You should.
I'm
From the
prefacing it
stand,
with-
Dave
because
Kimowitz.
I first and foremost, I have no animosity towards either of you.
Because you're booking fucking Jimmy
No, actually,
Fallon.
I mean, Noam and I think Noam and I get along.
Yeah, because you're Jewish.
I don't really know Dustin very well, but he definitely knows my partner.
And he's not Jewish.
Has history with them more than I have a
Right.
history. But from any time I've been
Dave's got three.
I've had interaction with Dustin.
Go ahead, Dave.
We've
I'm
been
sorry.
cool. I think this is just taking back on everything that I've heard and being part of that podcast and this podcast.
Yeah.
I think that first and foremost, what I would want to do as a club, and I'm trying to do, is really create some kind of synergy where that idea or that ideal that this is New York City and a strong New York City of comedy where we say this is the best place to be in New York, and as club owners, we should strive to do what we can to make that possible together. Now, what's happening here, I think, is there's definitely the issue of you guys being next to them, and I do think that, in all fairness, that you have to kind of accept when you say, "Hey, this is McDougal Street, and all's fair, and economy and love and war." Then that's what you're, that's the stance you're taking. So
Are you gonna
if
cry?
you really want to, no, I just think
fuck
that
is
it's
wrong
not
with
fair.
you?
Yeah.
It's not fair to say.
Are you choking up right now?
I got a little bit of a.
The fuck
Something
is
in my
wrong
throat.
with this podcast?
Yeah, you're
No,
not
no,
a
no.
real ass
I was
dude.
sick last week. My throat. Did it sound like I was?
Yeah, yeah.
I could go for that if you want. I can get to you and make this dramatic.
Don't be embarrassed.
No, I'm just being very.
And here at the stand, we just want to come together.
Why can't we all just be one?
We're not cringe humor anymore. We're just humor.
That's not fair. That's not what was going on in that inflection of my voice.
I
Let
love-
me get back to what my point was.
me and Keith-
I was just
okay.
saying that, truthfully, that you could have a relationship where you look after each other's best interests and you play ball and everybody likes each other. But
Absolutely,
that's what's not happening because you're not addressing the issue that you're there's something.
I think
not-
it's two separate things, man. I think that
There is two separate
You're
things,
a comic.
obviously.
If you weren't a
Yeah.
comic, you wouldn't be having this problem. He doesn't like your comedy for whatever fucking reason. There's people that don't like my comedy, and I don't get it because I'm a hammer.
Which also, by the way, let me interject. It's also easy for him not to like your comedy when there's a conflict of interest between the business.
But-
it's very easy. If you don't like me,
Listen,
I didn't like it before there was a
it's
conflict.
not-
Yeah, but that's the thing though. This got very personal.
Can I say,
and it wasn't
first of
really
all,
about
Noam's tone.
He started the
Noam's
personal.
tone is very fucking annoying. I didn't like it before. No, listen.
Yeah, but I mean, if you do say, "Hey,
That's a good Jewish joke.
I'm gonna."
keep it going.
What I'm saying is that you're a comic. That's where the conflict lies. If you weren't a stand-up and you were just running the show, I think you might take a different stance on it because you're not.
Well, he used
you're
to-
a self-help guy. You're not a guy that just is an asshole and that's who I am. You try to better yourself.
Robert, you understand, if anybody knows how New York City works, the neighborhood organizations are extremely powerful. You can't get a liquor license renewed without them.
Right.
Before I even know they were opening, they went before the Village Community Organization and badmouthed us. They're over the top.
That's
It's over
fucked
the
up.
top, and you want to roll your eyes
Like the Sylvester
and be
Stallone
mad
movie.
at me. You don't 9 other club owners out of 10 in the same situation would have come at you much harder than I did.
Yeah, but they're bigger and stronger than you.
No, I'm serious. It's so outrageous what you guys did. So
The idea
unprecedented.
was to prove that you can have multiple shows with lines. Someone else is doing it. That was the
no,
idea.
no,
of it.
no. That's
that was
I'm
the
sorry.
idea
That's
of it.
no. The idea was to say that the Comedy Cellar is lying because that was verbatim what you said.
Okay.
And let's just talk about. Can we end cringe humor? Can you shut it down? Because you had Janine
What's cringe humor?
Garofalo at your house.
Oh well, but first of all,
so let's
cringe
just
humor and the stand are two separate things.
No, can we just
Absolutely.
okay, listen?
Oh, no,
you
That made me cringe.
You
No,
no
not
more
100%
There's no
different,
more
obviously.
cringe humor. It's dead. Me and Keith Robinson already
As
discussed
long as
it.
Patrick is
It's
alive, but the stand is
Which
not
will only
cringe
be
humor.
3 years, by the way.
stand
Hey
is
man,
not
look who
cringe
came
humor.
down the stand this weekend. Janine Garofalo. Was it? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but did it say that on the stand post or did it say it on cringe humor's
It
post?
said it on the stand.
Okay,
which
so
you guys are cringe humor.
We're a business.
Cringe humor's dead.
Cringe humor's dead. All right, fine.
No more
it's
cringe
completely
humor.
different. I mean, that's not fair.
You
to
can't
say.
be associated with one.
There's definitely a backbone to the stand that comes from cringe humor, but
I'm
Janine's
just
great.
kidding.
First of all,
I'm
Janine's-
kidding. Look at you defend. You know what? 2 years ago, if I said Janine Garofalo, you'd spit and throw up. You'd throw up disco fries in a parking lot. Now you're like, Janine's great. She helps.
Ryan
By the way, I
Hamilton
watched Janine
and-
Garofalo at Eastville recently, and she actually made me laugh pretty hard.
Of course, Janine Garofalo. I think Janine
Have you seen
Garofalo's funny.
Janine's HBO special?
All right, relax.
Where
Can
she
we-
brings up
What
notes
do
to
you
the
mean, relax?
stage during HBO special. I'm not going to
That's a
do
good
that.
special.
First of all, shut your face.
Okay.
Second
It's
of
your
all, no, I'm kidding.
No.
I'm busting your balls.
Yeah,
Look,
I know.
Look, I think
I
that
like
the more comedy clubs, the better it is for comics. The
Absolutely.
better it is for the Comedy Cellar. The more smaller comedy clubs, because you are cultivating the next generation,
Yes.
so that when the
Yes.
Dan Sodas and the Joe List, they
Louis
have a
J.
place
Gomez.
to. No, well, but the place. You know, they have when they come, you are the big, you're the big show, and the Carolines is too, and Gotham is too, and then when they come up, and then then you go there and you headline, we need you,
Exactly.
we need the Stand.
That was my point.
You need clubs like the
Right.
Stand, you need clubs like your club, because we can't all perform at the Cellar. You know, not everybody, even the guys you like, you can't give spots to as much as they need to cultivate their talent, but the tactics can be different. You can work together. I believe that. I believe that you guys can work together, and you don't have to take shit out of his mouth to put it in your mouth.
No,
This
you
is
don't.
New York City. This isn't Ohio. It's not
I know
one
where it
street
is.
in one little town.
I know where it is. But
I'm
it's
not telling you you don't know where the fuck
I'm just
it
saying,
is.
but when if you're not on property, you should be able to promote a show.
but that fucking what
If
you
you're
just
not on the property.
But what you just said was just stupid. I know where it. I know you know where it is. That's not my point. I'm not saying you're dumb. I'm saying that you can work together if you wanted to. If you don't want to, fuck it. You're gonna have, like he
Right.
said, you're gonna have to deal with the consequences of dirty play. If that's what you're gonna do for
I'm
business.
not trying to do dirty play. I'm just saying that we should be open. People should be open to just promoting wherever they want.
Yeah,
as
but
long
dude,
as you're not on
that's-
property of somebody's business, I think you should be able to do it.
Yeah, but dude,
You know, you go to the mall and they got there's a guy in the middle and a guy to the right, and he's like promoting his product. That's just what it is.
yeah, you're splitting hairs though, dude.
I'm not splitting hairs.
Dude, going to somebody's line and going, Psst, hey, what are you
They're
doing?
not going. They're not supposed to be going to the line.
Stand right across street from the line. Listen, there's
I-
another concept.
I've heard people talking, your guys, I've heard them talking about, hey, where you going? Did you just come from that club? You know, we have a club. Yeah, I mean, it's like, okay, that those things, to me, I know you have to do it, but they have to sell tickets. Like you said, that's a job to them. It's not really about you. It's about them making a certain percentage to make the
They're
money
not
they
on
need
our
to
payroll. Like it's a whole.
Understand,
different-
but it's sleazy.
You still got to take responsibility for your.
Like, you know what
We
the
have a
Comedy
street
Cellar
for that.
used to do, and that the Boston used to do before you and all you guys, is that we stand in front of the club and bark the people the fuck in that door, not in front of any other club that was around. Louis Schaefer stood in front of the Boston Comedy Club and sucked people into that club, and then he went and worked for the Cellar.
Where'd this
He
guy
didn't-
go?
He didn't send people over to the Boston. He stood in front of the Cellar. Come here right now. Walk them in, and he represented the whole club. He was the host. He got people in. He represented the whole thing and got people. And he packed these places. And then he came here and did it to them. And that's how the Cellar, and then they took over, and his father started booking solid shows with Esty. They started booking these phenomenal shows. The people started coming, and there you go. There is a format. You don't have to take from him to put to you.
Well, right now, you know, we need an audience. I'm developing great shows.
We have an audience. They need one. They should try to take ours.
No, but
See,
I mean, I
that's-
think Bobby was getting to a point that
That's-
I think we almost could have actually come to some kind of agreement.
I was
here
trying to
move
say
happy.
something.
Yeah, and any, by the way,
I got fucking rudely
any good
interrupted
promoter
by
can
everybody.
go stand.
I'm sorry.
I wasn't trying to diss you.
I didn't realize I was jumping.
go ahead.
And I'm
Go
just
ahead.
saying-
Go ahead, Dustin.
I wasn't looking at it. I didn't
Go ahead,
realize I was
Dustin. Go
jumping.
ahead.
Keep this Texas temper down. But so, you know, I'm trying to develop the best shows that I can for guys that, you know, that are up and coming, and also headliner guys that don't get the love they deserve.
Right.
And we are getting a lot of repeat business. They have the choice to go to the Cellar, and a lot of people come back. There's a lot of repeat business come back to Greenwich. We are getting a buzz. We are trying to develop good shows, and I book a lot of women, a lot of black dudes, a lot of different things. I'm trying to make
because the Cellar is racist.
I'm not saying it's racist.
No, we are.
No, it's not. They're not racist. They book Godfrey and Sherrod, and I think that's it. But it's like, but I'm trying.
By the way,
to
they
do
are
good.
very black. So
yeah. And let's
Cellar
put it
has
this way.
great lineups.
They're the
I would
only,
never deny
they're the
that.
only two funny black guys. So go ahead. Yeah.
But it's just we're trying to do our own thing. And let's say a year from now we don't have street teams because we have repeats and people know about us on the. I've got festivals coming through there and all these things I'm doing. So it's like hopefully it works. We had the New York Comedy Festival was there. We had huge comics come through. It was a big thing for us. So it's a matter of time where we stand on our own. Right now, we need to let people know where we're at, and that's what we're doing. It's the idea of the guy in the banana suit, handing out flyers, letting people know, hey, hello, we're over here, and hopefully it goes away.
Okay, Dustin.
We don't have to do that.
Okay, fine.
All right, go
Fair
ahead.
enough. But you don't conduct yourselves in what I think most people would agree is a neighborly fashion. Starting with coming to the community board and continuing. And if you don't conduct yourself in a neighborly fashion, then you don't then bitch about the fact that I don't want to let you to come in there and hang out.
I love it. Noam started so civil in the beginning of the sentence, and then he really just fell apart.
But I mean, really,
I wasn't
amazing.
bitching.
Like you behave in certain ways, and you say I have a right to do it, and maybe you do have a right to do it. But then be a man and say but you know what? Who would even have the nerve to do the things that you guys are doing, and then come into the Olive Tree and hang out. Even if I hadn't told you I don't want you to hang out there, would you really do these things and then come and hang out? Hey, Noam, how you doing?
Okay, I wasn't bitching about not hanging out at the Cellar. I was just telling you why I didn't want to come on your podcast. First of all, you didn't ask me to be on your podcast. Some intern or PR person did. So you didn't come at me and say, hey, Dustin, I'd like to have you on the podcast. I'd like to talk to you like a man. You didn't do that. I had some PR person
But I don't
email me.
I don't fucking do that. I have Kelly do it. I don't fucking
But this
do
is
it.
obviously a sensitive issue.
Yeah, but you can't.
This is a sensitive issue.
No, you know what? He has a point there. If I didn't realize,
Can I have a water? I'm getting parched.
No, actually, no. I take it back because this was prior to the fact that I'd said anything negative about you. So I didn't think there was any bad blood between us. So I didn't see why I had to call you myself. If there had been already bad blood between us, then you're probably right. I would have thought better than to have a PR person call you. I would have called you myself and reached out to you. But we didn't have any bad blood at that point, so there was no Look, my PR person called him. It wasn't like I had to have an intermediary.
Look, here's the deal.
I just didn't feel welcome. I just felt it was just going to be stirring the pot and like freaking out over the things you freaked out about.
I'm glad you did it here.
Really?
You know
I'm
why?
Not sure.
This is why I'm glad you did it here.
Sure,
Because
it was a good idea.
If you did it there, you would have been a little out of control.
No,
because we're friends.
No,
I think
this is also
I think
more-
you were honest. You look, man. Saying you hurt my feelings, to me, I don't give a fuck how many guys listen to this and go, "You're a faggot." Fuck you. That's Lewis just raised his hand. Do you know you're on radio, stupid? Can you be funny on radio and just verbalize
I'm
it? You
fucking trying.
You really want to just be on fucking In Living Color?
No, I mean,
listen.
yeah.
You did it here, and you kept. Look, if you were just there on that show, you would flip out.
I mean, this brings up a lot of daddy issues for me. You know, we're just reaping from it in here. I just
His daddy
feel
is
it
a
off
special
Robert,
racial
everybody.
if he had come on my podcast, we wouldn't have gotten ugly because I wouldn't have let it get ugly. I wouldn't have criticized his comedy if he had been there to talk about the Times article. He refused to come. He came.
I didn't refuse to go. I sent a nice letter and told you why I didn't want to come.
Okay.
When you say a nice letter,
what was
what
this
does that
nice
mean?
letter?
I'll find it.
It was on like
great letter.
Use my
man.
part.
Right, you talk. I'll find it.
It was on.
Where's
letter.
the?
Great letter.
It was nice.
Rockstar Comic is at AOL.
All right, I want to hear this
that's
letter.
the email.
But what I'm saying is that look, you're going to throw sarcasm. Look, when you're talking about something that you're passionate about, or you're going to get fucking fucked up. You know, that's why I wanted to do it here, so there's some lighthearted. We can make jokes and laugh in between the fucking serious anger or confrontation.
There's been no laughs, by the way.
Well, I've been laughing at Joe List's fucking nervous face.
I mean,
brutal.
Yeah, the truth. Jesus, the truth is
let
Joe's
me
a
tell you,
bitch.
And let me tell you,
That is
Doesn't
the
always have to
truth.
be
I've been
like
waiting for
that.
them to find out.
fucking Fredo forearms over here, Dave Kimowitz.
No, but it's like right when we started the thing.
I am a hairy
Noam said I'm going to get ugly, and then when he said I'm going to get ugly,
No, he meant
just
literally.
reared up my fucking
I didn't say that.
my fuck. Yes.
By the way,
Did
in
he not
light,
say it? He said I'm going to get ugly here.
Listen, I
He
lost.
says I'm going to get ugly here.
I lost a chunk of this
and that's when I
podcast.
got crazy. Oh,
No,
that's,
I'm
thank
kidding.
God for that.
No, No, there's a. I apologize for that, but look,
in light of the Godfather references,
I would like
by the
to.
way, I do not appreciate the.
I want to hear the letter because then we're gonna wrap. I want to wrap this up because I don't want to. I think we hit a lot of stuff here, and I want to come to a conclusion and wrap this up. So good.
Also,
Read the letter.
I'm not a bitch. I'm just you guys. You guys are having a conversation. What am I supposed to do?
I don't know. Chime in with some fucking quips.
I'm trying to have jokes, but you guys. I'm not trying to interrupt.
You haven't tried to have
discussion.
any jokes. I've tried jokes.
Listen,
none of them have worked.
Don't yell at Joe. He's nervous.
He wants to work the cellar.
Go ahead.
I really appreciate the offer that brat Noam gave me to participate in the.
Hey, that was a joke.
I really appreciate the offer to participate in the Comedy Cellar podcast. I would rather not continue to stir the pot about the article in the New York Times regarding the Comedy Club turf wars. I would always be open to a dialogue of the affair. I admire the Comedy Cellar. It was one of my defining moments in getting past and playing there. It was such a tough decision for me to take the position Greenwich Village Comedy Club. It was something that worked for me, and it has never been my attempt to create animosity with the Comedy Cellar. I've talked to the freelance ticket stream team about being respectful to the cellar, and unfortunately, I can't always monitor their practices. I will. That's
I'm running I'm inside the club.
No, that's a fair point.
Why can't he monitor their practices?
Because he's fucking
I'm inside the
managing
club.
Well, you know what?
Producing the
Why don't you
shows.
get out of the club and walk down the block a couple times a night?
Hey!
I always tell.
I always have a food certificate.
I'm sorry.
Let me say something. You have to have a food certificate.
Let me just finish reading.
Just read this really nice email
I
from
always
Dustin.
tell people who confuse us with the cellar how to get to your club, and I never try to dupe people in any way. I hope for the day the comics can play both rooms without consequence. I truly love the art of stand-up comedy and will cherish my moments at the Comedy Cellar. I miss the staff and the awesome food.
You know what? Dustin's right. I take it all back.
I am on Dustin's side. Everybody for Dustin, raise your hands.
Dustin is right.
Dustin is right. Noam is an asshole. Noam is and he cheats.
He killed a waitress. He killed a waitress.
He is more than one
You guys
baby.
been a great crowd. Thank you. Good night.
That was a nice letter.
Joe List is still scared. Look, I have a solution. Everybody just go to the stand. Fuck the cellar and the other place.
Fantastic
And let's just make
solution. Close the podcast on that one.
Yeah, I'm sure that will happen.
I will be at the stand tonight, by the way, after I headline Caroline's.
There's no room at the stand. There's fucking Jimmy Fallon and Janine Garofalo.
Jimmy Fallon didn't perform. He
No, he
watched the
didn't.
comics.
Listen, buddy, he didn't perform. That's true.
Don't get technical.
He did not perform.
Fucking asshole.
He had 2 beers, and this place is great.
Oh God, I
He was
love it. I
a
love
really
it.
nice guy.
It's unbelievable in here.
That is a fucking really nice letter, Noam. Jesus
It
Christ.
was a nice letter.
Beautiful letter. That is really like a
then-
respectful.
If only, hold on, if only Dustin could write a joke as well as he could write a letter.
Shut up, dude. Really? And you wonder why I don't book you anymore?
It's a thin skin. Listen, it was nice, but I don't. The thing about I can't monitor their practices is a cop out.
Well,
It's not a cop. Can I explain
Listen,
something?
I can
Let him explain.
I can monitor the practice of anybody who's representing me.
Okay, first of all, we're a very small staff, and in order
Listen,
to
you're right down the block. Just step out when somebody's on stage and take a look at where they are.
Can I talk to you? Listen to me. We're a very small staff. In order to manage a operation such as we have, you have to have a food certificate. You have to be on the premises to have that food certificate. Because if the health department comes in and you don't, and there's somebody there not without that certificate, then you get fined. So I'm in the club a lot. So I don't have a lot of staff. I only have like 3 or 4 people on staff at all times. You have a huge thing going on here. I don't have that.
So send one of them down. Only 6 doors down. Send one of them down to just.
And I have.
We take a look to see where the flyer guys are.
Okay.
Well, but
I will.
Listen,
I will.
the deeper
You have my
issue
word,
here-
I will.
But the deeper issue
you
is
hear
here
that?
no,
I will.
because-
I will send people down.
No, don't get confused here. This is bait and switch.
Here we go again.
Because, well then, okay, are you telling me that you won't put them on Minettas anymore? On Minetta?
I'm going to say I'm going to monitor what they're doing.
And if you monitor them and find them on Minetta.
He's going to high five
Well,
him.
Minetta is not your street.
Right, so what?
You don't own Minetta.
But that's where our line is.
It doesn't matter. You don't
Well,
own
what do-
Minetta.
Then we don't own any street.
Exactly.
So then
that's the point.
So what could
that's
you,
the point.
So
But
if you find them somewhere, what would be over the line to you?
What if?
Just be respectful of the Comedy Cellar.
Yeah, but
does
what,
that mean?
what if he hired people?
You understand why I say
this
it's
is
a
the
bait and
thing, though?
switch?
What if he hired people with his millions of
He's
dollars?
probably had
Billions.
He probably
Let me
had some
finish.
meetings with the street team and realized
Trillion.
it's a pain in the ass.
Let me
Yes
ask
or
you a
no?
question.
No.
If he
haven't?
had,
I've
haven't?
never had a meeting with a
if
street.
he what if he hired people to do the same to you?
We just go at
Wouldn't
it.
that suck?
We would all go
but,
at it.
But wouldn't it suck
I
for
wouldn't
you?
care.
What if there were people going, look, this is the world famous Comedy Cellar. That down there is a piece of
Well,
shit.
I'm
blah,
sure
blah, blah. Look, what if he
they're
did
opening
that?
a new club probably close to another comedy club. I mean, everybody's going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, but what if they did that? Wouldn't that suck?
I don't mind you opening up near me. I don't
understand.
mind.
We get it. I get it. I understand what the problem is. But my defense is Minetta is not part of your property. And if people are walking away from the cellar.
They're walking to the cellar. They're waiting on standby to see if they can get in.
So wait a minute. This New York Times article was completely accurate.
away.
This is really a comedy turf war. None of this was.
Al Martin said in the article
Syrians
that
dying
he admitted
is a war.
they tried to get our
this
business.
is nothing in the scheme of really what's important in life.
It's important to me.
Well, it's not important in the scheme of everything because life is fucking awful right now. And we're arguing about, what is it, 16 people? Like 10 people? 5 people? That's all it is. And if these people, they have the choice. And if they get a better deal down there, or they get younger comics down there, and that's what they want, because we have a lot of young.
You're a dinosaur, Bob Kelly.
Because we have a young.
Dustin,
my roster's really young.
Dustin, do what you want, but don't bitch if I have the nerve to
bitching.
complain or to, God forbid, say something you don't like. I didn't fire the first shot here. I don't fire any shots. I'm not aggressive towards you. I don't try to get even with you. I don't hire people to go down there. I don't do anything to you except try to protect myself from you.
And your golden gloves.
And your accusations.
Well, I knew this would go
wrong. You guys
wrong.
are laughing about it. Imagine if he said that to you.
I'd test that golden glove shit out. You're not as big as me.
I'm serious. It's the kind of thing that somebody.
You're a very small guy.
It is absolutely the kind of thing that somebody gets punched in right after they say it. They get punched in the nose.
No, I don't care.
And Bobby does shit.
I'm not going to punch you. What I'm saying is that
I deserve it.
It's not the kind of thing you normally say.
Well, you know what? I defend my art, and when somebody comes at me, I get aggressive. I'm sorry. That's the only thing that I really care about the most. Right
I
now.
really wish that when I wanted this to happen, I wanted it to be fun and kind of not take each other too serious. I understand that you take your art serious, so do I, dude. But if he didn't think I was funny, I wouldn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
because nothing.
Because
Because I know
it's
I'm
a different
funny.
situation.
Yeah, but I've had people go, Robert's not funny.
But if he said it on the air without you there, you probably wouldn't. You probably wouldn't be so happy about it. Maybe
I've had people say it on the air. I've had people.
What if it was no?
I've had people say it on O&A. Okay, where they let a caller in, and then the guy
callers
says,
don't count.
And I've had
Callers
comics
don't
say
count.
it. I've had Norton bust my balls.
I'm talking about people that put money in your pocket. It's a whole different thing.
Okay, but did you ever stop? Was it outside the realm of the way you think when you heard me say it? Say to yourself, you know what? That's fucked up. On the other hand, I do send my flyer guys in front of his place all the time. We did go to the community board meeting. I can see why he would.
I didn't go to the community board meeting.
Yeah, but it's your place.
I didn't do that. Okay, I know, but I didn't do it.
Did you ever say? I can see why he would say something.
One
like
second. For any YKWD fans, we're giving 10 free tickets to Dustin's Comedy Club.
BritishFieldComedyClub.com.
I'm kidding.
Get what you pay for.
Oh,
great comics. Yeah, really good comics.
Very young, apparently.
Doug Stanhope's coming. All right.
Look, I don't think you guys. I thought it was going to go different. I thought it would be a little more lighthearted. I know you, and I know you.
Yeah.
You guys are. He said some shit that you took very serious. You did some shit, or your club did some shit that he took very serious. You both made valid points. I think that your feelings got hurt as far as the stand-up. That bothers you, and I think that being a part of this club, being accepted by the Comedy Cellar, it means a lot to you, like a lot of us that are. And when that was taken away from you or taken for granted, or you didn't think, he just kind of said, he's not that funny, and you can't be here anymore, or you're not working here anymore, that fucking bothered you. I don't think he's wrong with saying, hey, dude, you're the enemy. You can't come here. I did at the beginning. I don't anymore. I get it. It's like, why am I going to let somebody who wants to take me down or take people from my money out of, whether it's $5 or thousands of dollars, it doesn't matter because you can't decide. I get it. But I look, if you're going to take the stance of, look, we have to do what we have to do because we're small and we're new, you have to deal with the consequences.
I get it.
I understand it.
And I'm okay with it. But my comedy had nothing to do with the argument of people in front of his club or people out on the street. Like, that had nothing to do with it.
That's why you should have told that Jason Zinnemann that. You should have told Jason Zinnemann that I called you a meeting about your flyer guys.
I did. You don't know what we talked about on the phone. That's what I did.
Then why didn't you explain that to me when I invited you on the podcast?
Because I sent you a letter telling you I didn't want to stir the pot. I just wanted to be gone
So you're
with
saying
it.
that Jason lied?
I'm not saying he lied.
Well, you can't.
I'm saying that
You're slippery. You know that.
Well, you have to be in this business
But I'm
because
saying,
it's not a solid answer.
Did you tell him that or you didn't? If you didn't tell him, did he make it up?
Okay. This mafia angle was all his idea.
Not the mafia angle, that the meeting was about me taking away your spots, when the meeting was about the flyer guys.
Of course, the meeting was about me taking the position over there, and then we talked about several things. We did talk about me not playing at the cellar.
The meeting was only about
did we
the
not?
flyer guys. You brought it up. But
you brought it up.
No,
you said
no.
You started talking about lying. We had a meeting.
I remember it almost verbatim.
And so do I. And so do I.
I did not bring it up.
Look. Okay.
You brought it up and you said,
all right, you tell me what you heard. I'll tell you what I heard. This is what I heard. You go next. You're next.
Okay.
This is what I heard.
Yeah.
SD asked me to come in.
Right.
For shits and giggles, I put in for avails. And then when I knew this place is opening, and I put in for avails, and then the next day I got a text. And SD asked me to come in and have a meeting with her and Noam. So I come into the meeting. I sit down. Noam offers me a drink.
Were you wearing a cowboy hat?
Of course. Oh, Noam offered me a drink.
Was there a dead waitress
no.
on the table?
I said...
Were you wearing your golden gloves around your neck for intimidation factor?
Was
Joe
no, I don't.
Scared in the corner?
I said, no, I don't drink.
I'm just listening.
I said, no, I don't. I'm sober. I don't drink.
Was Bobby making old man noises on the side?
We sat down, and then Noam started talking about. He heard that I'm being involved in this new club that's opening,
right?
And we talked about. He said this is competition to me because we've had problems in the past because of CBs. People would fly in front of our club. We would hope that you guys be respectful. Da da da. We had some dialogue about that, and he says, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to work here. I can't have you hanging out here. You're going to have to kind of not be able to come in the building and da da da. And it went about that. And you can't tell me it didn't go like that, Noam. That's kind of how it went.
But also, you kind of get it.
That's exactly how it went.
Okay,
that's exactly. It went one to another. It did. It went from one topic to
let
another.
him answer the question.
Only reason I asked Esty you to come in was because the flyer guys, and if I recall, Esty had actually spoken to you, and then after you would
the club hasn't even opened yet. There were no flyer guys.
So I asked Esty to come to talk to you about the flyer guys.
There were no flyer guys yet. The club wasn't even open. It opened 3 months after this meeting.
No.
It did.
No, that's not the case.
At least 2 months. When was the meeting? We opened. We've got to figure out when the meeting was.
You opened in July.
Okay, so maybe it was like a month.
And you had spots up until the beginning of June.
Okay.
You hadn't been booked in like 5 or 6 weeks. I think the end of May you had spots, and then you guys were already open. Or maybe you're doing your soft.
We were not open.
Maybe you're doing your soft opening.
This I can guarantee. We were not open before the meeting.
But anyway, the meeting was about flyer guys, and because that's the only thing I cared about. It's the only thing I care about. I don't need to call you in for a meeting to not book you. I would just tell us, don't book him.
But I can prove that we weren't open before the meeting.
There's no reason to call somebody into a meeting about not booking them. It's just like putting a big punctuation in their face. I'm not booking you anymore.
Okay.
It was only about the flyer guys. And you brought up, say, listen, I hope that you understand and this won't get in the way of me not being able to work here in the future. And I said to you, absolutely not. There are no hard feelings. I remember saying to you, we're not booking you. So how could I said to you, we're not booking you. So how could I blame you for taking a job to further your career? That was a direct quote. I said, we're not booking you. How could I blame you? At the point where you're not competing with us anymore, you can come back in here as if nothing ever happened.
Did he say that?
Something to the effect of that, sure. But I'll tell you this, there was no street team yet. There was no flyer people yet because the club had not opened.
Okay, but he was just worried about it.
Okay, so I just took it as a meeting, like whatever.
Yeah, but he said that you can come back after if you get funnier. I'm kidding. He said, but he did say that. That sounds pretty legit to me.
It was legit, and I never said it wasn't.
But then, how did you go from opening the club and then when you knew that he did the
and
street
then first
teams,
and the second weekend he ran over the club, which I said is fine. I go, please contact me when there's something you don't like. And I ran down to the corner, and Esty was there as well, and I talked to Esty, and I told the guy, I said, look, do not stand in front of the club.
But they do.
Well, okay.
They still do to this day.
But I told him, I said, but when I say front of the club,
you hide behind
here's what happens.
Nothing you can do about
I'm not hiding behind anything.
Short staff.
Hire Lewis to beat the shit out of these people.
What's up? I'll fuck
I'm not short staffed. It's economic. Smaller staff.
I'll do it for the 2 spots a month that Dustin doesn't do it anymore.
It's actually smart business to have a small staff when you have a 60-seat room.
Doesn't do what you want.
Okay,
just leave it alone.
But I'm just saying. Here's what happened. Somebody apparently went over. This is what Esty told me. Somebody walked over to the club, one of the street guys, and they were looking at the lineup, which is bullshit. And they were in front. They were on the property. And I told him that same night that you ran over and got me. I said, look, don't fucking stand in front of the club. You want to stand here, which is on Minetta, across the fucking thing, I'm okay with that.
Minetta.
But don't stand in front of the club and fuck with them. Don't look at their lineups and don't stand on their property. I said that, and if I see that now, I will pull somebody from there.
Right, but you understand that
do not want the people on your property.
Where they stand on the corner of Minetta is much more strategic to taking our customers
still not
than
your
right
property.
in front of the club.
It's still not your property.
It's the intent. I know it's not in front of our. Listen, in front of the club is not our property. We own the building.
Okay,
we don't own the sidewalk.
Let's say they were on the stairs. That would be your property.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
It's just the intent of trying to siphon somebody's business and then being alarmed or shocked that the person whose business you're siphoning is trying to stop it and is resentful of it.
I'm not
and
shocked.
might even say, I don't think the guy's funny.
I'm not shocked. I get all that. I understand why you react the way you are. But I'm just saying, we're going to exist. We're all going to exist. There's going to be great comics here. There's going to be great comics over there. And and the art will flow.
But the best is at the stand.
It's
tonight at 8:30.
Yeah, because they have Janine Garofalo, Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel.
That still means then that the rift will exist.
Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, and Dante Nero.
Dante Nero.
All living and existing.
David Letterman and Jay Leno are headlining tonight at the stand.
Yeah. All right. Listen, I thought this would go a little different. I think. Look at the sum of it is, Noam, you're fucking. We're at the same exact spot. I mean, you are going to run your club the way you're going to run it to survive. Yeah. Noam is going to have to defend himself and take care and hire Lewis to kill the people you hire. Joe
I'm
List
punching my fist.
Joe List is going to get a shot at the Comedy Cellar just to make you look bad. And the stand is going to take everybody down slowly. But I mean, look,
strategically, quietly.
Like I said, Dustin. I get him not liking your comedy and the way he said that, but he admitted that.
I know, look, and I accepted it, and I told him why I acted the way I did, and I'm just an asshole, and I get there, and we all get there.
There's two different things here.
We all have daddy issues in here. We're all fucking nuts.
There's personal.
I have an issue with my daddy.
I don't have an issue with your daddy.
I've never met my father.
I mean the inheritance thing.
I have three of them.
I have daddy issues. That's why I don't like confrontation.
Yeah. Shut up, Joe. No.
I don't have daddy issues. That's what I say. I have mommy issues.
Yes, you do. Okay.
Yeah, he has mommy issues.
We all have issues of some sort.
Jews have mommy issues.
Look at Noam's
We're all in
hips.
therapy, I assume.
I need to be.
No, Noam doesn't believe in therapy.
Okay.
Let's get into that.
I can't afford it.
I would hope that what. You say one thing at the end. Woo. Good for you.
Sometimes minding your own business is pretty funny.
I hope Joe loses Twitter
on air.
I hope that you maybe fucking get those guys off that corner. I agree with Noam. I know you keep saying it's not your property. That's whatever. The intent. Dude. You're a smart guy. You know what's up, but you do what you do. I mean, you do what you do. You know what I mean? It's whatever you got
other things to do. I got other things in this business that I do, and it's like I just want to be able to be an artist and create a scene for comics, and I care about the comedy. Right. I care about comics. I want comics to develop. I think it's important to take people under your wing. That's all I'm trying to do. I know you're attempting to do that as well, and that's all. That's the only reason I took it is because I want to create a comedy scene. That's why. It's not because of any bullshit management. It ain't because of the money. It's just because I want to create a scene. I want that CBGB's of comedy. That's what I want. I want a new scene of comics because I think, like you guys said it in the first cast about how Patrick approached the Cellar, where they didn't feel like there was a new wave of comics coming through, and that's what we're doing. We're creating new comics.
About you, Bobby.
And it's and I'm telling you what, Creek in the Cave, when they get a TV show, we're all done. We got to go a different direction with young comedy.
What do you mean?
I feel like the club comedy is taking a little bit of a low. I mean, people are starting to be a little less interested
I'll be
in
at Creek in the Cave February 7th.
Yeah,
I mean, I think
I'm there all
I'm
the
just
time.
saying alternative comedy in general is going to take an upswing, and I think
comedy
ready for it.
took an upswing.
What are you talking about? Every fucking comic on TV has
continue.
fucking leather elbows and a sports jacket.
It's a beard, a book bag, and a radio
typical comedy club has to adapt to that.
That's just comedy. That's
it has to adapt to it, and that's what I'm trying to do there.
Comedy clubs are in trouble, you saying?
I'm not saying they're in trouble, but I'm saying we're going to have to make decisions and bookings, and I think because I think the club crowd is going to die out, and I think it's going to be a different audience.
The Comedy Cellar will always be there. I don't have to worry.
I said the audience will switch out if you don't book the next young thing or whatever. Yeah, I think it will. If you have the same,
look at funny
same guys.
Let me tell you something. Fuck this alternative. Fuck the edgy, the cringy.
No, you gotta have it.
Listen to me.
You gotta have it.
Funny
Gotta
is
have what?
funny.
It is.
Funny's funny. That's
but
it.
you-
and you as a club, it's your responsibility to put the funniest people you think. Not if they're fucking. Look, you can put just all one style of. I think you're killing yourself. You'll have
Absolutely.
those people.
Absolutely.
But as soon as that style dies, your club dies.
No, but
when you put on a show from beginning to end that has a bunch of different people, but all of them have one thing in common: they're funny at what their approach to comedy.
And they're white men.
And white men, and not as much black, and not that many women. And one Indian. You're gonna have a very successful show.
Cha-ching.
And if
Did
you're
you
getting
read our
laughs,
business plan?
Hang on
Bobby?
one second, Joe. Do you see how you can make a point and be funny at the same time? You nervous Nelly. Go
I
ahead,
think
Dustin.
that.
but,
I think
you
it's
know.
clear that everyone agrees that you're done. That's what it seems.
Yeah.
Wow, that hurt.
You're-
Wow.
That just hurt. That just hurt. It's
true.
When you look at him, Noam just looked at me like, no, he's right. He's very.
Well, he was saying kind of that we need to change
Yeah,
the
you gotta.
older established comics that are working at the club if we expect to survive.
but
I think you
and
should
that would kind of mean.
Bobby,
should really
Bobby hit on
don't-
the nail. You just
No,
got to
I
look
just-
funny.
I don't
That's
know
why I'm
about your
doing this
audiences.
podcast. When that day does come, I'm just going to come up here and do a show.
How many more quinzets can this club survive? I mean,
Well, folks, sometimes, folks, not all the jokes are winners. I'll go over to the stand. They'll let me do 30 minutes, take a photo, and twit the fuck out of it. I guess who showed up tonight? I'm kidding. I love you guys.
I gotta go.
All right, buddy.
fine.
I'll see you later. Noam, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Do you feel?
Thank
do you
you.
feel like you came to anything? Any resolution resolved? Is this over for you, or do you have anything last words you want to say?
No, I'm good.
No, that was really passive.
That disappointing. I know I'm not supposed to say yes, and I know how you guys are, but I don't have anything I want to say. I mean, I just wish they would stop what they're doing. That's all.
What? The line thing.
The line thing, yeah.
That's
And
it.
I'm sorry that I spoke candidly on the podcast about how I felt. You know,
But Dustin, you appreciate his candor.
It may not have
An apology.
It, in retrospect, I don't know. Like I really didn't mean to erase it, just because I didn't want to have bad feelings.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
And I'm
Okay.
sorry I got hot headed. It's just something that happened. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry that you bang your waitresses.
I'm sorry that you kill people, Noam. I'm sorry.
it was bang waiters. Something else he said.
You murdered a waitress.
Murdered a waitress.
Yeah. And you actually kill women
Topeka.
comics.
It's uncomfortable.
Wait a minute, you take. I don't give a fuck. I don't care what you say. Noam is funny. You can't fuck with Noam.
Oh, that's funny.
Noam's funny. And Dustin, the same to you. I know. Listen, man, you're like me. You're probably worse than me.
Yeah.
A little bit. Your temper.
Yeah, I'm bad.
You get a bad temper, man. You
I want to
take.
jump over there.
Yeah,
I
you're a
did.
comic and a manager.
Well, you take
that's
things
a-
personal. I do too, but you take things personal real quick. And
It's just-
when he said something, and I tried to, look, it's like don't take it personal.
I
man.
know.
This is an exercise.
Tried, I really did, and it's like it's just like he gets out those eyes, and he's looking at me, and then he said, "I'm gonna get ugly here. I'm gonna get ugly here. I'm gonna get ugly here."
Why
And he
does that
said it like
affect-
3 fucking times,
why
and
does
I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna fucking hit you back, and
Yeah, but you don't-
he didn't have to do
Yeah,
that.
but I don't think he meant it that way. And
I
I'm
know.
Not, I'm
You
not
understand- you
Noam's
understand where I'm
defender.
coming from.
I understand where you're coming
Oh,
from.
all
Like,
these
if
Joes,
you-
they
I mean,
stand together.
If I will try to be as impartial as possible here.
That's 'cause what the stand
if you can
does.
accept that because I'm a comedy
Remember they were
club
cringe
and this
humor?
and that.
The Sweden of
Yeah,
comedy clubs.
remember they were the cringe humor where they were like, "This bitch ain't funny. Fuck that cunt." Now it's like, I am
That
partial.
wasn't me. That wasn't me. But I will stand. I will back my partners on that. I will back Patrick on that.
God damn it.
I mean, I think, and you said it yourself. You being honest with yourself was that you brought a lot of baggage to this discussion, so it became very personal about him offending your comedy.
Yeah, that was. I mean, look, you were a little out of line. Be honest with you, dude. As a friend, the thing, you didn't need to do that. The way to beat that stuff, to beat somebody like that, if you're gonna, is to not react.
I know.
It's just
I
not
couldn't help
react,
it.
and it's just like, nah, all right, whatever. Dude. I don't even know what that
Yeah,
means.
but Dustin's a real ass dude. I get it. I get it.
Yeah,
I
but
just,
I
it's
get-
just
look,
honest. I'm not.
But
gonna,
you always
I know,
know
but
that some,
I just tried to
the
be
nobody's
honest.
exact
gonna
exact
like
thing that you
as a
accused him of
comic.
doing, like is talking shit about
Yeah,
you on a
I know.
podcast. You started throwing some
I
fucked
know.
up shit out
I know.
there.
I know.
You know what I
And
mean?
I wish I could have helped.
that's
I wish
not
I
you.
could have. That's why I didn't want to do it.
That
That's
letter.
why
that letter is you.
Yeah, and that's how it should have ended. And that's the thing. On the podcast, he said, well, Dustin just didn't want to do it. He said he was too busy. He never mentioned that I sent a nice letter. He never
there you
mentioned
go. The letter got
any of
read.
that.
That was a nice
That letter got read. It was a great letter.
I'll give you a point for that.
And that's what I wanted. That was it. That's what I wanted to
I give you credit
present.
for that letter, and I will call you a faggot too for writing that letter. No, I'm kidding.
But I don't. I just think that truthfully, again, I'm trying to step away from as club owner.
That's
the
what the
stand
does.
Fine, we'll throw it in. No, is that there's a real thing there where he's saying to you that you're taking from his customers specifically, and you're admittedly saying, all's fair in love and war.
What is your stance on that? Seriously, have a stance.
I do have a
Being
stance.
the stand?
I think that you have a neighborhood that's. I would kill to have the street traffic in front of your club.
Sure.
You don't really need to be on Minetta. I don't think you need to. You could do.
Easy for you to say.
I have a street team. It's hard, really hard where I am.
Easy. I'm just saying, easy for you to say that it's not. Trust me.
I'm just saying. I'm not. You're right. I get it, and it's your business. You can do what you want, but you have to then at least accept the fact that you're going to stir the pot.
Well, I
with
get it.
No,
and by the way, this was the point that I was making about Noam, though,
that's all my
and
point.
about him saying you're not funny, because it's like this. When you don't like a chick, and maybe if you liked her, you'd be like, oh, she's really hot, but because you don't like her, you can pick out all the ugly things in her. I do that a lot with like girls.
Your wife.
I just think you can't be both.
Okay.
And that's
you're right.
that's it.
You're
I
right.
mean, you could say, hey, it's I got a business, and you need to put people in seats, and that I get, but you can't say that I'm not going to understand that you're annoyed.
He could say that he does not think I'm funny. That I can deal with.
We
but
all
to
say
tell,
that.
okay. But
By the way, he's
but
holding
to
his
tell-
temper in right now.
But to tell me, look, to tell me, trust me, to tell me I did not do well at the cellar is ridiculous.
Okay.
Because I went out of my way to slam those fucking spots I got.
Right.
And it was something else. Maybe I did some Jewish jokes, maybe I did some redneck, whatever. I don't know what made him not like me.
Right.
But it's not because of the laughter. The laughter was always there because I slammed.
It's never cool when a club stops using you, dude. It's never going to feel right.
Right.
It's never going to feel right on your ego or your self-esteem, which are two things that drive comedians.
Yeah.
It's never going to feel right. Believe me, I know. There's clubs that I love doing that won't use me, and I don't know why, because when I was there, every single show I killed. Did I sell out every show? I could have said something. I could have done something. Somebody who could have trash me. Who knows?
Yeah, dude, you might look like a chick that banged the booker's fucking wife one time.
It could be your material. He doesn't like what you're doing.
It could be
Right,
that.
it's subjective.
It could be anything.
You're a comic, so you take that.
But here I
personally.
am,
You're
dude. I
standing
know
for
I'm
yourself.
funny. I know that
Sure.
every time I go up,
You're a hammer.
I can. I'm a fucking hammer kid. But it sucks. I understand that, but I never confronted Lucian or any of these guys, even Al. I never fucked with him. It's just you don't get me, or you don't treat me the way I want to be treated, or
Al
you.
loves you, by the way.
I'm done. All right, that's fine. I'm good. You know what I mean? And I never held it against them when they called me and say, "Will you come work the club now?" That you're somebody or whatever. Yeah, absolutely. I'll come down and do a benefit. I never held it against them when they wanted me back. You know what I mean? Or they asked me to do something for them. It wasn't like, fuck you. I don't need that resentment. As a recovering person, as a therapeutic guy who tries to better himself, I'm not gonna be you because you're being you. I'm not going to treat you the way I don't like the way you're treating me. Fuck that. I'm going to be me. And I don't want to, when he said that about you, what I would hope that you would bring onto the show was, it was like, look, I know who I am. The people that I give a fuck about know who I am. I have a job. I do my shows. I don't give a shit what you think. Fine, I don't work your club. Okay, I get it. It's your place, your decision. You say I didn't do good. I say I did. I don't care.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
I understand it. It's just, and that's the place I think we're all seeking to get to. You know, I wish I was at that place.
I'm there now.
I wish I was.
Come with me.
And he does bring out a lot of daddy issues in me, and he does bring out things that make me just react. And
I can't wait to have comics have daddy issues
Yeah.
with the stand. It's gonna be
Nobody's
awesome.
listen to me. First of all,
And,
nobody's gonna have daddy issues with Chris,
Patrick.
David,
Yeah.
and
People
Patrick.
do. Oh, come on.
And I suppress a lot of my anger. And years ago I'd have been drunk here on a couch, with whiskey and on my breath, and I probably would have jumped over there. But I've come a long way. For me to just
This
have
is a long way. Holy shit!
No, I didn't think it was ever going to get violent.
I'm just saying that
I would. If anybody made a move, I was not going to let that happen.
he's not going to make a move.
I have Chinese stars.
Nobody's making a move.
Over
I'm
here.
just
No, it
saying.
wasn't.
I said my past. I'm just saying in general. It's like I did the best I could. It's just when he came at me and basically just waved a flag saying, I'm going to be a dick. I'm going to be a dick. I'm going to get ugly. And that's when I said, all right, motherfucker, get ugly.
You got a little...
Get ugly, motherfucker.
No, but I don't think that's what he meant, Dustin, and I'm not defending him.
But I'm just saying what I heard.
He was saying he's going to say something that you may be offended.
I understand what the word ugly means, but I'm just saying that's where... but that's how I felt.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, Dust. Honest to God. What? He was literally saying, look, I might say something that you might think offensive...
word ugly is pretty intense.
Okay,
that's an intense word.
Ugly.
Take personal.
He might take personal.
Word. He didn't say that.
No,
he said ugly.
But you literally, but you went fuck you. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You fuck chicks.
Yeah, I got crazy.
Right.
That's fucking dude on a guy level.
No, I fucked up.
That's fucked up. And then you said it's not true.
I didn't say it wasn't true. I just said
it doesn't matter if it's not true. It's not true. I know Noam. Yeah. I know his past, but I know him now, and he's a fucking. Come on, dude. That's going from 0 to 60. And you. I
just said this is what I said.
By
the
way, 20 to 80. I mean,
it was from 20 to 80.
This is what I said. I said, right? I said maybe I know some things about some waitresses. I didn't say what it was. I just said I know some things about waitresses.
That conversation should have happened before this conversation.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is he's saying something that he really said, and you might find it offensive. I'm going to say something that really happened, and I'm telling you that you might be fucked up by this. And I'm sorry, but this is what it was. And you brought some shit out of nowhere, like ammo. And you got
you heard the word ugly.
That's the guy who wrote that letter and the guy who did that shit's two different people.
Of course.
So
and that's why I didn't want to fucking do the podcast. That's why I said
it's good that you did it. You know why?
I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to.
Now we know the type of dude you are.
It's good that you did it because you know why?
Didn't want to.
It's good that you did it because you faced yourself with yourself and other people. You're actually discussing it with people that know you and give a fuck about you. If you did this, that's
why I sent the letter.
But it's gone. Look, it's fucking. Yeah, but you can't always send a letter, bro. Sometimes you got to look a guy in the face and be confronted with your own bullshit and know for you what the fuck's good and bad for you. That's it. And you're confronted with your own shit right now. What you did right and what you did wrong, and that's a good thing. Okay, that letter, I fucking hate letters. Somebody sends me a fucking letter, I won't read it because I want you to look me in the eye and tell me what the fuck. Tell me what you feel. You know what I mean? Like I've had people try to, like managers or agents or friends try to, hey, I'm writing you, fuck you, crinkle, get the fuck, call me.
That's how old Bobby is, that he gets real letters in the mail.
You know what I mean? It's like that. I understand why you did it. He's not your friend or whatever. I understand, but I understand the why you did it. But you did it face to face, which is better. And you handle yourself right or wrong in certain respects, and you admit that. So you take that into your next situation. Okay. Seriously, you take it into your next situation knowing what you did fucked up in this one for yourself, not for anything else.
Yeah.
Not for the club or whatever, or what you represent, for you, Dustin. That's what you're taking out of this. That's why it was good for you to do it. Look, I wanted you to be... I didn't want you to take things personal. I tried to, let's have fun and let's talk about it.
I had a feeling it might happen.
And it happened. Now you'll learn from it. And you'll
write him an apology letter.
But you guys did apologize.
I tried.
You both did.
Still pissed.
In your own way, you both did. But look, man, you're going to look at this in your light, and you might be like, you know what? Get the fuck off that street. You might be like, you know what? Fuck him. I don't know. I know what I would do.
You think you know what you would do, but you're not.
No, I know what I would do. I'd absolutely know what I would do.
Bobby would eat a pizza.
I know what I would do. I know. No,
if you were running a business and
I do run business. I do run a business, and I know what I do.
On McDougal, I'm saying.
I know it doesn't matter on McDougal. I have situations where I can fuck people and do certain things to people, or
I think
or
it's okay to be across the street.
Yeah, okay. I'm saying that I know what I do. I've had an opportunity today to do some the little tricky shit that would favor me in the long run, and I decided not to because it's not who I am. I have to take the hit on that and take the financial fucking hit too, business-wise, because I chose to say, this is what I'm doing. And I could be risking everything right now.
Are you risking something by having me on the show? What are you pointing at me?
I'm just using you as the people that I talk to. Oh. I know what I do.
He's taking a financial hit having you on here.
You know what you do.
He's losing business.
But I also feel It's like I said before, they're bars with mics. We make them bigger than they are. They lucked out that you were a young comic at the Cellar. They lucked out that Attell was young and up and coming.
I know this young thing is really aggravating
They
me.
lucked out that you guys came through and you're stable comics there. But every club has that, and it's like we make it bigger than it is, man. It's like these clubs don't define comedy. The comics define it.
No, you
and
wanna,
it's like we're making that. They're
you want to
giving
be
too
Chris
much
Rock.
power.
You want to be Chris Rock, where you can walk into any club anytime and do a spot. That's really what we want to do.
It's the Beacon or it's nothing. It's the Garden or it's nothing. Like if you can't play those places,
I'd say the Wilbur
then you
in
still got work
Boston.
to do. You still got work.
Or I'd say Bananas, or maybe the Comedy Works in Albany or nothing. This Friday and Saturday.
Really, the Comedy Works in Albany?
Comedy Works in Albany, and then I'm going to be in Tampa. At the Side Splitters, and then
hottest bartender in comedy.
I know, and then I'm going to be at. Hang on one second now.
You gonna do the Riotcast show at the Stand?
What?
You gonna do the Riotcast show at the Stand? Yeah, well, for a specific reason.
Because Bobby couldn't be on it.
Yeah,
I can't.
Really?
We moved it.
You know why? I can't. Yeah, I fucked up.
Why?
I have to fly out.
No, we changed the date. We postponed it.
Fuck.
Oh, I also can't do that.
I can't do that date either. No, I'm
Just
kidding.
be honest now. Come on, Dustin was honest.
I will fucking absolutely do that show. I was very excited about it, but I found out that I have to fly out the day before.
We postponed the show.
Perfect. I'm in.
There's no date right now. TBD.
I'm dying. Look, man,
we
I
want you on it, so we.
I
TBD
haven't even come down to the club.
Awesome.
Yeah, you have.
I one time pre-opening. I haven't been down.
Once, yeah.
I'm dying to come down and perform and see what the hoorah's about.
Why don't you come to Greenwich?
All right, Lou, you got to go?
Yeah, I got to go headline Caroline's.
First of all, I want to thank all the fans who bought tickets to see him. Pick up your beer, you slob. Fucking dirtball.
Why are you drinking at this hour? God.
Anyways, have fun tonight. Congratulations, headlining your first
Congratulations,
show.
Lewis.
I mean, it's not really headlining; it's on a fucking Tuesday. But whatever, dude. Have fun.
The breakout
have fun
show?
doing the.
All right, break it out.
Have fun going up last. That's what we. That's what we call it on Tuesday.
Funny.
Hey, thanks, Joe. I appreciate that.
Nice
I'm laughing.
Oh,
I've been laughing.
Christ.
Jesus Christ.
I love you, Joe. Listen, let me tell you something.
I love
hope
you.
getting sober doesn't make you less funny. Because if it does,
I'm minding my own business. You have me on the show to add levity. You immediately, I thought we were going to have like 20 minutes of riffing typical
This is a tough
podcast.
spot to be in.
Overrated.
And then it would
Ugh.
go into
Awful.
this nonsense.
Hate it.
You started right
Hate
off
every
with this.
second of it.
I thought we were gonna. I thought
we'd have like a half hour of normal podcasts. We shit on each other. We make voices.
I did too, dude.
You went right into the fucking
I
nonsense.
know there was
a lot of unfunny
There was no
in this.
lube on that, by the way. I'm not
Yeah,
saying you didn't do a good job.
I tried.
But no, dude,
It was,
you could have
no
lubed
lube
it a
is a
little.
good way to put
Well,
it.
here's what happened.
coulda lubed it a
This is
little.
what happened with this: is
like-
that you came in late. Right at 4. If you,
Okay.
I thought you were coming. I told you to be here at 4:15, so that you'd already
You said
be
4.
here.
You
Did
said,
I?
Yeah, you told me 4. Buzz me. Get here at 4 and
Anyways,
buzz me.
I thought you were going to come in first. We'd sit down.
Pastuka.
All of us would talk, and then Noam would come in. What happened was you guys kind of came in. You came in after him. You sat down, and it was like, okay, let's get into this. And I thought it would be a little, but you guys really had to do this. Because it was on your fucking tips of your tongues. It wasn't in the back of your brains. It wasn't an after. It was on the tip of your fucking tongue. And as soon as you spoke, it came the fuck out. I think this was a good thing for both of you because now you're going to go, fuck it, and move the fuck on whatever direction you go.
Well, yeah. And then here's one thing I'll say. There's just certain people that you just kind of have that tension with. You know, there's certain, I've seen it in my life along the ways
Like
of
me
my
with
whole
Kelly.
life. Huh?
Yeah.
Like me with Kelly Festuca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean, Joe?
But there's,
I have the flu in fucking
But-
Australia.
there's just guys that
With soda.
you don't like, and you feel it, and you feel like they're a certain way, and then they have the same way about you.
Yeah.
You know, and and on the podcast, you talk about being a redneck. If I talked about being a Jew or something, that'd be fucked up. Like that's what he
Is
said
that
on the
same
podcast.
Jew and redneck? Well, I guess redneck's an offensive term.
It is
To rednecks.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Unless
why
you're the turtle man.
You know, it's like, well, I wear a cowboy hat.
I don't know if it's
You know?
as offensive. I gotta. Be
That's not
honest.
as more of a
It
cowboy
is.
hat.
It's about defining someone's
Right.
class.
Okay, fair
in
enough.
society.
You're right. I'll let you. I agree.
You know,
I'll
it
go with
is. And so,
Is that really a cowboy hat, or is it more of a rustler's hat?
Russell Wrangler. I'm a comedy wrangler. I call it.
I'm wearing Wrangler
So,
jeans.
damn right you are.
Because that's all you can afford.
So I just and sometimes no matter what, no matter how good you present it, or no matter what centered place I'm
Human
at,
nature.
it's just gonna go.
Human nature,
It's just
people
gonna
fucking
go.
collide.
We're from two different worlds, and we're at the same world. Like, I was in a band, and like I know about music, and like I was hoping when I got into the cellar, that's the connection we could have.
There was no lightness brought at all to this. Like it didn't
Yeah,
start with
look,
like,
that's
hey,
what I was
you
hoping.
like guitar? Cool.
That's
Anyway,
what I
let's
was
talk
hoping.
about
I was gonna
this.
grab a
But
guitar.
you know what?
I was gonna just go, and it was like that. I
if you
wanted
grabbed
to
one of his
Yeah, but
guitars.
I agree. I mean,
Or a
this
mandolin.
was.
It was.
Bobby's right. It's probably good that this happened, and you're angry, and you got it all out, and you know, maybe in the long run, right? Not right now. It was.
This is when
intense
Soda
in
needed.
here.
We needed voices.
Hello, lady.
I almost invited DeRosa here. That would have been a
That's
nightmare.
who I wanted.
God.
Yeah,
That's
but
who I wanted.
he wouldn't. He
He'd
would
have been awesome.
It wouldn't have been. It would
Oh,
have
it
been
would
you
have
two
been.
screaming at
No,
no.
no,
but
no.
this was.
No.
Yeah, but you know what?
That's
It doesn't
what I
always
wanted.
have to be funny, right? This was. I mean, this was good.
I think there was.
I mean,
I think there
for
was
a
some funny
listener,
lines.
it was
Joe.
good.
Joe List's fucking rant he gave me will go down. I might put that at the beginning of the show. That fucking made me laugh.
I wish we bookended, padded the argument. I thought it was going to be fun and silly, and then we're going to have this thing for a
That's
half
what
an
I
hour.
thought, too.
Right.
And then it would
That's
go back.
what
Well, I
You
thought
should have
that
brought
too.
Natterman, or
And then I get
something.
called a
Natterman-
bitch.
Natterman had my back. in
Yeah,
that podcast.
Natterman's great, and he's funny. You should
Who
have
was,
had Natterman
who
here.
was the waitress on that show?
I don't know who she was. I'm not. I don't know who she is.
You go down Broadway and turn
She was
gay.
nasty to me on that podcast. She
Really?
was just
She didn't-
saying.
Well,
she said
I don't remember.
nasty
Linda,
things.
Yeah.
Linda, what was your thoughts? What were your thoughts?
Did I say anything nasty? I don't think I did it. I tried to-
Listen, here's the thing.
You guys were okay. I mean, I have a history with Chris.
Yeah,
and stuff,
yeah.
So it's like you
Well,
guys
you-
weren't too bad.
Oh, Chris,
You opened
what do
up
you
with
mean
like
you're-
Dustin's trying to make himself be a victim or something. I think Chris said, and I didn't try to make myself a victim, man.
That's
It's
where
just-
I think you may have said the article.
Is
Yeah.
that why you lied on the street in front of your club crying? I don't even know what that meant. I was like a victim. Nothing. I was trying. I did too much of a stretch, Joe.
I don't know.
I
coming
may
back.
just be stepping over the line because, like you said, we're all different businesses, but you can do
Joe,
what
do you
you
need to
want. But you
leave?
know
Hang
that
on one
idea
second.
of like
Joe, do
synergy
you need to leave?
is
I'm
gonna,
good.
it's gonna be that rift.
Time
Like
to
with that,
Yeah.
if you want to have
I
that
get it.
that synergy between clubs, like that. He's putting it out there, like there will be this rift.
Look,
if
man,
that's what
look,
happens.
what happened-
So, I mean, I
But
think
Burger
that was
King
being
and McDonald's
honest, right.
exist across the streets from each other in Manhattan.
could happen.
And everywhere else across the country. People have a choice. People have a choice.
I would say Burger King Quiznos.
There's Burger
Whatever,
King,
we're-
McDonald's. Wendy's. How about Wendy's?
I just want to be the In-N-Out burger in this. That's
You're
all I
not-
want to do.
you're
I just
not.
want to be the In-N-Out
That's
burger
money.
in this scenario.
That's money.
Listen,
If you can get
you're
an
not.
In-N-Out in Manhattan.
I don't like that he
money.
wants to be a boutique comedy club.
It should be
We're not the
Chipotle.
biggest, but we're not the
Chipotle is
worst.
killing it.
Listen, it is nice in there.
It is.
Every day I go, God, this place is nice.
It's a beautiful club. It's a beautiful club.
You guys selling out?
Yeah, past weekend, all shows were sold out. No, this past weekend, listen, we've been open for 12 weeks. This past weekend, all
kidding.
four
Who
shows
was the
sold out.
headliner?
Who closed out the show? Big J. Okerson closed out the show. But we
Every
had,
show?
on Saturday on Saturday both shows. Yeah,
Did he wear ankle shorts?
Janine Garofalo was on the show. Hannibal Buress was on the show.
Right. So you guys are going for alternative.
Oh, is that?
That's what you're doing.
Big J. Okerson was on the show.
Yeah, alternative looking.
Who else was on
We
the
had good
show?
lineups.
Adrian Appalucci.
That's a great
No, we
lineup.
mix it up. We really.
It's a great lineup.
Ryan Hamilton was on the lineup.
Yeah,
that
you guys.
night.
Hammy.
That's a
Sweetheart.
great lineup. It's a great lineup. Well, look, it is what it is. I just, I would let it go, and I would
Yeah.
think,
I got it out. It's done.
I would think about, I understand. I side with Noam on the fucking approach to business.
It's just you're saying that there's going to be a rift, and
As
that's
far as saying you're not funny on a podcast, I agree with him. You made a mistake. I mean, you don't out that shit. Those are personal things that you say to you and your person who books the show. I don't want. It's none of my business
Right.
what you think of me. It's just not my business. I don't want to know. Like, who was it? Somebody told me what they really thought of me a couple weeks ago. And I was like, dude, I don't want to
care.
know what
But
you
I
really
hate
think of
that,
me,
too.
man.
you know what I think. He was like,
But what
no,
did we get?
I don't care.
I have a question.
Can I tell you what I think of you, Chris?
I'm Dave. Fuck you.
Sorry.
Bobby, I have a question.
Not much, evidently.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So what do we get out of, living by the rules of the Comedy Cellar? Like, what benefits we...
I don't live by the rules of... Oh, you as a
What do
comedy
we
club.
get as a comedy club?
No, you're
Like,
not- you're not-
Why do they get to set the rules for Madugal Street? Why do Monetta's off limits? The restaurant, the restaurant that those kids are in
Been
front
there
of.
for,
Dave?
in my opinion,
Is
like,
your name Dave?
yeah.
You, hey, you answer.
You
that.
don't have to, and you shouldn't. Like, I agree. Like, I want to be the best comedy club and just sell out or
We
all
just
those things.
wanna make money
but you
and pay
do
the
have to
bills.
just accept they've been on this corner for a very long time. So they've just been here.
Who cares?
Who gives a shit?
You don't have to care, but if you want to be friends with them, then you
If
have
you
want to
be friends with him,
it.
I just got mad at what he said on the podcast. I have
but
no
it's-
intention to be friends with him.
Yeah, but
I don't
Here's
care.
the thing, though, is that
I played.
You
I
don't
passed
have to
the
care.
Cellar.
That's the thing.
I
You
played
don't have to
weekends
care.
at the Cellar. I made money. I don't care. I'm going on with something else. Like you said, it's about the Garden and whatever. It's not about these little clubs. It's about
I
being
didn't say
Chris
that. You
Rock.
said that.
Well, about Chris Rock.
I
It's
did
about
the
being
Chris
Chris
Rock
Rock,
thing, yeah.
and that's what I was implying.
Right.
But it's like, so who cares? I got other things I'm doing. I mean, that's
All
I
right.
mean,
that's what
I
I'm-
make
that's
my
what-
money in radio. Like that's what I do. I produce radio. Like
that's what it comes down to. If you don't give a fuck, right, with what you're doing,
don't.
Then there you go. But
Right.
Noam is saying, oh, okay.
He's the one that was whiny from the get go.
Right. Look, I understand that, but it's up to you.
Bourbon
I'm saying,
Street.
I understand what he's saying.
I understand it to a
I
point.
get that one corner. I get it. Walking by Ben's or down on Bleecker, fine, whatever. But that one corner while there are lines out there and having your guys solicit people out of the lines or people that don't get, these guys. I don't like these fucking guys.
Well,
I don't like these fucking. It's not you.
Yeah.
They don't represent your club, but they do. But I know it's not part of your club.
Look,
but
here's the deal.
these fucking guys, I think they're scummy in the way they do shit.
All right.
And I don't like it.
Okay, I don't think they're all scummy, and I think some of them are legit, and a lot of them, it's just like, here's the deal. People, there's only two things to do
It's a
on
hustle
Madougal.
job.
There's only two. I mean, what is
What are
there's
the
two
two
things
things?
to do.
What?
Drink
Yep.
or go to a comedy club.
Wait a minute.
And there-
you
but
can
there's
blow
music,
a she-mail in an alley.
there's-
I've done that.
There's a very good alley for that right over here.
There's a
isn't
couple.
there?
There's music on Bleecker and there's music on West Third. But
Right.
and there's two comedy clubs and there's a whole bunch of
You
bars.
can also kiss Linda's belly. Come here, Linda.
No, nobody can afford that. And so that's what it is. So people come out of the Cellar, and or they walk up. They want they don't have money for this, or the line's full or whatever, and they want to just go to a comedy show. That's all they want. They just want to laugh. They want to forget their problems. They want to drink a few Long Island iced teas. They want to see some great comic and have a good time and have interaction with a comedian, and that's it. They just want to have a good time.
How do you feel that Joe List is going to be working the Comedy Cellar now?
I don't care.
Because
I
of you.
expected it.
I think you
I
could have
expected
turned
it.
this into an audition.
You just
tonight.
lost
You did
Joe
it.
List.
You
Could
could
have
have
done 6 minutes.
You
You just lost Joe
There
List.
was a
That's the deal. Can I
short
not
moment
work?
where Joe
Let's-
List could have had an audition tonight.
Can I not work?
I think
both
Joe
clubs?
List is a great
What's going
comic.
on? Thanks, buddy.
And I wish
Appreciate it.
he would work our club more. And sometimes he's out of town, so maybe I don't come in contact with him. But I book him whenever he wants. But and if he gets the Cellar out of this,
Do you know
that would
why?
be awesome.
Do you know why
I don't care.
Do you know why I love the Cellar? You know why I love him?
Are we supposed to ask, or are you just going to tell us?
I'll tell you why I don't. I'll tell you why I don't like it. You tell me the
That was my
positives.
pause.
Oh, okay.
You know why I love? Let me do it again. You know why I love the Cellar?
Why, Bobby?
No, I just need the pause. I don't need you to say
all
it.
right.
The food.
Do you know? do you know? Do you know why I love the Cellar?
I don't.
Don't
The
say
waitresses.
anything. Shut up. Let me just.
Bobby, why
You
do
know
love the
what-
Cellar?
Where?
Do you know?
Greenwich Village Comedy Club.
Do you know why I love the Cellar?
Greenwich Village.
Is this a hypothetical
.com.
question?
I love the Cellar because they take care of us.
Right.
They make sure that we have a spot.
I knew that was going to be your answer.
But
by the
they
way.
also care about the show.
Yeah.
And they make sure, like the other night, somebody threw something at Dan, a piece of chocolate, gone. They had somebody talking, some drunk person was gone. Esty, in the line, they bought tickets. Going in, Esty saw them, went, they're not shit-faced, but they're too drunk to
Right.
walk into our show.
Yeah.
Fuck the money. She lost a whole table.
Yeah.
Gave them their money back.
Yeah.
And said, get the fuck out.
It's tough.
Goodbye.
It's tough.
That to me
course.
makes me feel good. When I go to a club and they don't give a shit about me, and I show up and nobody gives a fuck about me, I'm in the way. I feel like I'm in the way. And then when I go on stage, even the comics don't give a fuck about me, the hosts or whoever. They don't even, whatever. What do you want to say? Ugh. And then you go on and the crowd doesn't give a fuck about me.
Right.
Because they don't know how to act because the club hasn't trained them. It's like, fuck this. I don't need that.
Yeah.
I don't need that shit.
That's very
You go first.
obvious that I think that it's you comedy clubs I think right now need to, and they're not all like that, is we had this conversation on the last podcast of that, are comics paid enough for this and that, and they should be paid more.
Fuck the money.
And right, it's
the
but
other
again,
stuff.
like I know our club is built, and you were saying that comics like being at our club. That's what's going to make our business, that they're happy being here. And that's going to come from me treating them well, making them feel special, making them feel that we care more and that we appreciate that they're there. I mean, that's every one of our staff takes a test every week so they know every comic that comes in.
Right.
Are, those certain things, those little things that say,
like
hey,
that's the thing that me and you got into the, well, not me and you,
Yeah.
but you and your guys, when I found out that you guys were doing that, I thought you
The open mic?
when it was an open mic where you buy a beer and $5 you might get on stage. That really,
oh yeah, so
that bothered me.
I didn't hear that conversation.
Well, that bothered
but,
me.
Wait, can I just ask quickly? Was
I
that?
got something. Go ahead.
Did you think it was a regular show, and we said, "Hey, if you spend $5, you can get on a regular show"?
This is what I
Did
read
you
on
not know
Twitter.
it was an open mic?
That's what. It doesn't matter if it's an open mic. That means my uncle can go down and buy a beer and $5 and get the fuck on the show. That bothers me when there's a million funny open micers that work their ass off.
But we do a 6 o'clock open mic.
But it's all. But what made it okay for me is that it's all comics.
Yeah, it's an open mic comedy show specifically for open micers to work.
Yeah, it's not just anybody.
No, it's. I mean, I tell people if they call me and go, "Hey, I want to come to the show," I go, "Don't." No, this is not to be. This is not a show that you're gonna.
But
laugh.
I actually had problems with that, and then they fucking made it into a fucking stinkleberry.
Well, that's because you were erroneous in what you were reporting.
I wasn't erroneous. I was absolutely right. You had to explain yourself better. The tweet was erroneous.
I don't know what the tweet was.
I have it. I have a photo
What
of
was
it.
it? What was it? I
It
don't
was
know it.
come down to the club, $5 and a beer, get you on stage, maybe.
At an open mic?
It doesn't say open
Right.
mic.
Okay.
It said $5 and a beer, come down the club, you might get on stage.
Right.
What the fuck? Say
Yeah.
our open mic special.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Or struggling comics. Or if you want to see the new New York talent.
Yeah,
blah,
but-
blah,
okay.
Something.
Okay.
That
Well,
because I have so much respect. And here's where you took it.
God,
Erroneous. Here's where you took it wrong. Is I have so much respect for you guys, and I support you guys so much.
Right.
And then I have you on a high level of giving a fuck.
Yeah.
As former cringe humor guys, and now the stand that I was like, what the fuck you guys doing?
Yeah. No, well, we're
That's what it
honestly
was.
trying to build a Monday through Wednesday. We have 6 to 8.
Yeah, but you guys
an
went
open
to
mic.
Bobby doesn't fuck you, Bobby. To wait a minute, Bobby, what's up,
Oh,
buddy?
because the story that got back was no one said fuck you.
Yeah, but
no
yeah,
one
but
said that.
yeah, come on. That's where it's like instead of going, what's up, Bob?
Yeah.
What's up, man? You guys love it. We love you, Bobby. I thought you loved us. I do love you guys. That's why it sucked when I read it. Oh no, it's not. Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, so what I heard was that Voss was on your show and said, "Oh, I was in the audience."
I never would have him on my
and
show.
that you were okay. Well, then we're done here. The Voss was here and he said, "Oh, I was in the audience for a night, and then comics were just paying to go up." And I thought that's where you got the information from, implying.
No.
So then I think someone came down here to settle it. And
Yeah.
Bottom line
I
is,
invited all
we
you
had-
cocksuckers down, and nobody
any
showed up
8
except
o'clock
for
show.
Patrick.
Any 8 o'clock show at our club is professional comics. 6 to 8, we do open mics.
All right, so
and
we're
that's
good.
It.
Everybody's
and we
good.
love you. That's really that's what it comes down to.
I love you guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right,
Thanks,
can
Bobby.
I say something?
Yeah.
All right. I want to go back to this romanticism of the Cellar, which I think they do a great job at the Cellar.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I do a great job.
Okay.
Because I care about the comics themselves. I know everybody by name because I'm in the trenches with you guys.
Right.
I've worked places with you. I've done shitty gigs with everybody. I've done great gigs with everybody.
Right.
So and here's the difference between me and the Cellar. If a young comic is at my place and maybe he's trying to develop and try something new, I'm going to give him another chance as opposed to this like, we're not going to book you anymore because you didn't kill on the boat ride. So that's where I come in. Where you're saying how great it is to be there. I also treat my guys good,
Right.
And because it's a
Masavia
band of
did that-
brothers. for
Masavia
me.
did that to me at the Boston.
Yeah,
when the
a band
Boston
of
wasn't
brothers.
shit. When it was a great club, but when I didn't work the Cellar, any other club, Masavia Greer did that to me.
Yeah.
He took me under his wing and allowed me to develop. Look, dude, I was getting bumped by Chappelle, Brewer, Jay Moore. Red Johnny the Round Guy. Those are the guys I was getting bumped. It was crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
I remember you there. Right?
So
little mullet and your leather jacket. I
yeah,
remember that
so
shit.
it's like I understand what you're saying, and you will exist. But the thing is that I think you want to exist as a team, like the Stand and the Cellar. If the Stand was where you are and you were the Stand were, I think there'd be a better relationship between those two.
I don't think so.
I do.
I do not,
think so.
because CB's was the same exact relationship. That guy is very competitive, and come on, Bobby. This guy,
Al Martin owns a club 3 blocks from me.
Yeah, and we're redeveloping New York Comedy Club. We're making it less of a bringer show. We're getting headliners in there. I'm booking it.
Good.
So that place is going to uprise. We might have a little bit, but that's friendly.
But,
and that's
but
good.
that's fine. But it's because there are specific things that you go, this is cool. This is not cool.
I don't think they're doing anything to you guys.
No.
So it's not. It's a different. When it's a neighborhood, it's different.
But I'm just saying. But
when it's a street, it's different.
Dustin, there are certain things you could do that would create it, not a rift. And
But
you could say,
you were
I'm
absolutely
either going to
wrong.
do it or not do it, and then say there's going to be a rift or there will be.
Okay, if you have
There won't be.
but if you guys were down there where we were and you had a street team, they would act no different than any other street team.
I got to be honest. You're right. I'm not in your shoes. I don't
It's
have your
street team.
But I'm just saying this. You have Bleecker Street. You have south of Bleecker Street. This area, I would kill to have the foot traffic on this area. There are so many great streets.
I understand it, but you're not here, so you don't know.
You're right. I don't know. I preface it with saying I am not in your shoes, but I'm just telling you
You're
that
not here.
You have West 3rd. You have
don't have to
Bleecker
tell me that.
Street.
I know this. I was way before you even thought about a comedy club. I was in this business running Boston and all these other places. Been in this 15
I know.
years. I get it. I know what you're saying, but don't tell me about West 3rd and Bleecker. I know.
And I'm saying
I understand it. I get it.
You could do what you got to do, but you
I
know
get
that
it.
there's going to be
But I'm just telling you,
shit. There's gonna
I
be
understand that.
shit between
I'm
you
just
two.
telling you, when CB's was down there, they had a problem with
Right.
Noam. There was a guy that ran that club, knocked the phone out of Noam's hand. There's a big interaction. They had set downs and crazy shit happened. It got wild. And I'm just saying, and Noam did not back down and created and poked because he does that. He'll poke you and make you go, ah, and then you're the asshole for freaking out. So it's a lot him and it's a lot us, but it's not, it just is what it is. And I think when you're in a position where you're trying to pull people in, you need a street team.
You're going to do what you do. That's it.
But don't act like they're stand-up and I'm not, because that's not cool.
Nobody's acting. Look,
you said like the stand would be one way and then we're another. Like, that's not cool.
I think the stand would, because of the relationship between them. I think they wouldn't if he said don't do the McDougal thing. I think those guys would go, okay, we're not going to do that.
How do you say not do McDougal thing when we're on McDougal?
Minetta. Well, if he said can you not do the Minetta?
I think they would say that until your bills started coming in.
Listen, we have bills. I mean, honestly, we tell our guys not to go to Times Square because we have a very specific, we're trying to get a certain type of customer in.
I think that would happen. I do. I think that would happen.
You don't know that.
I know that I would get more people coming in every day.
It's just a base.
I'm
just
telling
saying
you.
that.
That's your opinion.
That's what my opinion is.
Yeah,
I
but
know what
it's
my
not-
fucking opinion is.
Yeah, but it's not.
But I know what my opinion is. I know what that's exactly what I'm saying. I think that it would be a different thing, and I think it could be with you too. I think the relationship between the business could be better, but I don't think you give a fuck about that. I think you care about
the business.
Your business. I think you care about what you care about, and I'm not going to say, dude, you should do it this way because I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm a comic.
But
you're running
you
a fucking
also,
comedy club.
you know.
Yeah.
You guys still talking about me?
Yeah.
This is amazing. This is a
we're still
marathon
talking about
conversation.
Come on now.
I'm coming right now.
What the fuck? You guys are still talking about me?
Yes.
We're not talking bad. We're not
No,
talking
no.
No,
You're not
nothing
talking
bad.
bad. You're not capable of any other kind of talking about.
Shut now,
here
you
we
know.
go again.
this
Here,
was-
see?
I'm just about to wrap this thing up. Get out of here.
I'm about to wrap it up. I'm really fucking upset now.
I need to go. It's
I feel
over.
really fucking betrayed.
No, you shouldn't. We're talking.
It wasn't like that at all.
Oh,
like
shut
that
up.
at
They
all.
always say it's not like that.
Hey, the proof is in the pudding. You can listen to it
Yeah,
after.
you'll listen to what we talked about you.
All the
Bobby-
fucking
Bobby
moguls
fucked
of
up the
all the
recording.
competitive buzzard comedy clubs all assembled in my fucking apartment talking about me.
We wrote a song together with that mandolin and that guitar.
My fucking equipment.
Yeah.
Who owns that? Who bought that equipment?
You did.
I bought that equipment.
You
so this
apparently-
jackass and this jackass can see about how to take over everything that my father left me.
All right, I'll see you later.
Come on,
All right, I don't know if we can end it any better
my
than
God.
that.
That's how you
That
know.
was
No,
good.
thank you.
That was good.
ComedySellar.com. Yeah, get out of here.
That's why you know my last
Dustin, Dustin, thank you so much. Look, dude, I think this was a good thing. There
Yeah,
you go.
I
I
don't
think
know.
to get
I
it the
think
fuck
it
out.
was good and bad,
You
but
got
we'll
it
see what
out.
happens.
I think got out.
Not telling you.
I apologize to the fans for my
This
performance.
is insulting. What's
Blame
happening.
Bobby.
David, David, what's your name again?
God damn
David
it.
Lipschitz.
Yes, that's it.
David.
Little respect, God. You want to get booked at the stand? No,
No, I don't.
David Kimowitz.
I know,
God
David
damn
Kimowitz
it.
from the stand. You guys are great. You
Thanks,
guys are all
Bobby.
doing
This was
great
fun.
stuff.
Sort of.
And my friend Dave, Joe. I don't talk anymore. I know. Joe List.
Yeah, thanks for the invite, Bobby. It was a real pleasure.
Thanks for the anxiety.
Plug Hip Hop Radio with Kyle Grooms.
Real pleasure.
Every Monday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. PNC
You guys,
Radio.
again, if you have any questions you want to email us about this show, YKWD at riotcast.com. Please, all the emails you guys are sending us, we love them.
NYC.com.
Yeah, okay, there you go. And then, all right, I'm coming. Please go to our website, listen to all the other shows, and we really appreciate everything. And I'll finish up later. Thanks, guys. Bye.
You know what?